Can I do my intro? Okay. This is Renee Little with Art Night through Reinventing the Tattoo, and Kyle here will be helping me for the first hour of this, so I'm sorry if it's awkward. But hello, I'm Renee Little. I own Goldfang Gallery in Oklahoma City. You can look at my stuff at goldfanggallery.com or Renee Little Tattoos on Instagram. My portfolio is usually updated pretty well. Today, though, we are not going to tattoo. We're going to talk about art. As I get my camera set up here, and we're going to have fun, and people are going to join us, hopefully. If not, then it's just us and on the internet talking about life. And I do try to keep within a topic per evening. This evening I am in my shop, so we've got some really cool light going on, but once the sun starts settling, I will change up the lighting a little bit. But me in a big echoey building, so it's kind of romantic, but I'm just, I finally got this nice little area set up that's a little different. And I'm glad I get to test it out on you guys, really. All right, so I just came back from Hell City in Columbus, Ohio, and that is a pretty substantial tattoo convention. For the tattoo side, it's awesome. You have like some of the world's best just sitting side by side, working, talking. There's plenty of us to hang out with each other, so usually there's some really cool things that come out of it as far as collaborations. We teach each other sometimes just by talking about problems we have during our days and funny things that we notice, and we get to trade tricks, and we get to trade, little bits of wisdom that we've learned from the year prior, because these things, do happen yearly. But Hell City is also a really fantastic place for artists in general, especially painters. This year I got to enjoy the wet paint project that Chris Dingle puts on. He is also a tattooer and fine artist painter. Truly a detailed textured work that I absolutely love. And so the whole project of this wet paint project was to bring painters together like we do tattooers, basically, side by side, so you can see us all working next to each other, and it gets us out of our house, basically. Some of us, a little introverted, so just seeing the magical things that can happen. And so I kind of wanted to talk about tonight some of the things I've learned, some of the things that some of the little tricks that I've gone over, but also kind of how to get back into it over such a stimulating experience. I know that I have to keep going, even though I did just I had a recoup day. So everyone, I truly believe in recoup days. You got to take them. Put my gloves on here for this oil painting. But how do you get back into the fold? Because the one thing I've heard from every single person that I got to meet, and that was absolutely amazing. I got to meet so many absolutely amazing artists that I've looked in magazines before, as a young tattooer, and currently I'm going, oh wow, that person's really good. I can really, really appreciate someone that puts in a lot of hard work and dedication and a lot of study and a lot of time. So when I'm approached by these people and they say like, holy shit, you just produce so much, I feel like I really don't feel like I do. So I'm going to talk about how I produce and see if anyone can pick up any little tricks and little nuances that they can apply to their life. Because honestly, I have a lot of hats that I wear, and I don't know how I paint. So maybe we can figure it out together. I'm gonna keep looking back here and there at my phone, see if anyone's knocking on our door, I guess, as they say. I'm going to try to do my best with that. Okay. I'm really bad with this stuff sometimes, so bear with me. Oh, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. We're back. I see where my failures are in technology with my setup today. But you know what? I go through phone holders. Well, like phone holders, they suck. So I keep breaking them. This is like one that's somehow half broken and still working. So, but you know, the Amazon is on its way. If by any chance I don't see you trying to get into the group, just give me a couple minutes. I'll see it. I'll feel it. I'm gonna try my darndest. But all right, let's get going. I have a bunch of paint left over from Hull City, so I'm just gonna start going and we'll get on our subjects. But if anyone wants to paint with me, that's totally, totally invited. Absolutely love it. That's the whole jam. That's the whole point of it, is to watch and listen and just have moments of, you know, of learning from one another. I get to listen to people talk all day, so this is like my time to kind of let my brain just let loose and have a little fun with y'all. Oh, let me get out my too. So I want to talk about collabs right away, because there was a couple people that I spoke to that wants to do some tattoo collaborations, which are, you know, more than one person working on an art project. We collaborate together. And then, oh, here we go. This is my mineral spirits and my fast drying glaze and mediums right away. There was a couple people that I spoke to wants to do some tattoo collaboration. Hold on, sorry about that. Okay. At least I knew what it was and I had to fix it. Here we go. We got some fast drying gel medium there. And I have some, just like, this is my travel little case, and it's wonderful. And I just use it at home too in my home studio. But it's great when you can use paint that's not quite dry from the weekend before. It's thick, especially when you're just doing I'm doing an underpainting right now, so I'm not going to get out a whole lot of paint, just to dedicate to something that I want to dry and chill out for a second. But let me get some, my darkest dark. This is my lightest light. So I can make a really nice solid underpainting. Because I've sketched this thing out quite a bit ago. And I still kind of want to work some things out. So I'm not even going to get out a white. I'm going to get out a titanium buff, which is really nice. It's just like a real nice neutral. And I have my Prussian blue out, and I have some lamp black, and I have some greens. Let me get out just some warm tones real quick, just so I can figure out what kind of lights I want to do. Like, I'll figure out where I want all my light sources, kind of as I'm figuring out what I want to be my focal points. So I like talking about the difference between when you're doing a painting collaboration and a tattoo collaboration. I think they're so different, but I mean, you can approach them kind of the same way. You can either work on them together at the same time with your group of people, or you can do a little bit of it, let the thing dry, and then have them do a little bit of it, let it dry, and then pass it back and forth. And I actually, since I've moved to Oklahoma, I rather like that style of working on it, getting it to a point. Like with collaborations, you really want to make sure that you don't overwork the painting. Um, because you really want your friend that you're just met, your other artist, you want them to have a really the opportunity to have a dramatic influence on the project. And the number one thing I've dealt with very overzealous artists is that they will almost complete the entire project, and then send it to you, and you're like, okay, here I did some highlights. How about that? So really make sure that not only do you like work the painting, so there's more to add, but also like maybe even give them a designated thing to do. Like, oh hey, I'll do the skull if you do this, or so if you trade like both a foreground object and you both trade a background object, if you both work on background, if you both work on, it really it will add that even consistency throughout the painting. So you won't be able to really tell a dramatic change, but yet you can both see the influence on both artists. And I think even that gives it a little bit more a strategy of learning from one another as well. Because that's the whole point, right? We're just like learning from each other, and this is like our modern barter and trade between civilizations. Um, because yeah, this is how we figure out if we're cool with one another, right? Like, that's the simplest way to put it, but it's our way to like communicate and like show that our minds are open to learn from one another in this very strange, intimate way. And we're creating something together. I love collaborations. They're really, really fun. Tattoos. I've done a couple, but I've done the most with like Todd Williams. And just idea wise, I know how to read that kiddo like a book. Like I freaked him out one convention because we're all waiting for appointments. We were just eating, we were just kind of taking a chill break for a second. And so I like was looking through his sketchbook and I just kind of absorbed his style. Like I got it instantly. And I was like, oh hey. And so I drew this, rose in his style. And I was like, hey, to you. And he was like, oh my God, it fucking is. What the hell? And it's completely different from what I do. But I was like, I can kind of figure it out. I can figure out people's styles and figure out how to mimic it a little bit. But when we draw together, it's really hard for me sometimes to just trust and go with my own because it's so dramatically different. But I think that's what makes it fun. I'm more of a realism illustrative artist with my tattoos, and he's more of a dark black work, chunky metal as fuck, illustrative. Like it's fun. It's very over exaggerated. It's awesome. So I have to definitely find a key chunk, in the tattoo design that's mine, and we always have to designate it like that. And then somehow we can come together also on the background, and then it looks cool. We actually one of our collabs, he later became a tattooer himself, and every convention or so I see him and he like does a little check-in. He's like, yo, look at this tattoo you guys did. It's awesome. And it's so fun. And it's like this toddy type monster, and I did this cool crow in its mouth, and it's just very it was a fun project. So it's something, and people know it's something special. They know like how rare that is, that we can actually come together and do some cool work together, especially after, well, just like the last couple of years, that makes it even more particularly magical. So yes, painting together sometimes is a little difficult because of that, the distance, the time figuring out schedules, all that jazz. That's a little hard. But so I like that process. And mailing paintings, I've adapted this really, really cool idea that I haven't quite figured it out for bigger paintings, because there's a whole center, if it's like really long, there's a whole center gap problem. But if it's, something like this, like, um, once I get to like the underpainting and stuff, and I like the proportions, I like the size and stuff like that, I'll actually make like a bridge on this. I'll build like, what is it? I'll add maybe like 3/4 of an inch height wise to the sides of these. So I create like a little skeleton for it. And then I can put a board directly on top of it and brace it. So then I can stack these guys together and I can mail them. I can put them in my car. I can throw them around, and it just doesn't let anything touch the surface. But that's after letting the oil sit, for a little bit. And then at least after that, like, nothing will squish it, like someone could sit on it and be fine. Well, I don't do it, but So as you can see here, I'm just doing, I'm getting in my darks. I'm kind of getting used to talking and painting again. I still have been getting my breath right after I had COVID even last year, and I find myself just like breathing, so that's what that's all about. But whatever. Feel like the kid from Malcolm in the Middle, his friend Stevie. Like sometimes I'm like, hold on. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, oh, I'm not being dramatic. I really can't breathe. Okay, hold on. But let's see. Getting in the dark. This is so okay. How I paint, how I work, and I don't know if I hope this can help anyone that wants to just produce, as I'll let you know, some of the stuff I produce is not always good, but I don't ever just give up on anything, hardly either. Like I would much rather gesso over a painting I did not like and do something completely different than just like have a painting sit there and stare at me and I just hate it, and I've done that. I've actually done that. I took to an oil painting and I knew how many layers were on it and I just knew exactly to the point that I was like, I hate this painting. I like that, it was one of those I just didn't stop when I should have. So I took some fine grit sandpaper and just sanded down a layer or two. And so it was kind of like where I needed it to be. And I just started again. And I'm like currently smoothing everything out and it's actually looking pretty good. But I say that I work cylindrically. I work in a style where like I need to sleep, right? I need to eat, I need to concentrate on everything. I'm wearing like 50 hats, owning a studio and tattoo shop. So prints and all my other little invention things. And so I will get a bunch of paintings started and get the ideas down, and then once I've done it to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel good about this. I need to let it sit for a second just so I can think about it and I don't overwork it. And I do, I put it down and then I do my, 50 other projects and then I come back to it. And I have a lot of those. So it kind of looks like I'm constantly doing stuff, but really like my entire life is geared around my projects. And so and I consider, redoing my website a project. I consider, deep cleaning my house a project. I consider, building a chandelier a project. So I have all my little projects and they're going all at the same time. And I have lists for these things too. And I can visually see as well. Like everything that I organize is visually out for me to see. And I try to stay very organized within my studio. Like everything's labeled. I know where everything is. I do deep cleans all the time. I do the Marie Kondo thing. I mean, I did that even before I knew what that was. But I consider myself a Taoist. So it's kind of, get rid of the excess so you can think clearly and you can live freely within the universe. And I can't do that with clutter. It freaks me out. So my sister's the same way. We kind of function the same way. Can't think, we can't process stuff if there's clutter. And so we'll clean the entire house, like baseboards and all, and then do our projects. And it'll be like 5 a.m. Like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, getting shit done. So like even this painting right now, I did like the charcoal rendering of it probably like last year. But he was next to Ananda. He was next to like 3 other paintings that are just as unfinished as he is. So, perfect. All right, I think we have another participant. Make sure you turn on your audio.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Yo, maybe I should.
How are you, ma'am? Oh, yeah, there you go. Ooh, turn. Ooh,
sorry.
Mute it. There you go. I did the same thing. That was cool.
Sorry.
Okay. Actually, turn it on just a little bit.
Yes. Hi.
Hello.
I'm just gonna pause that. I love what you're making so far, dude, and what you were saying about the under layers and like gently working stuff in, adjusting to the other like co-creator with collaborating. I've been picking up so many gems while I've been trying to figure out how the fuck to do this again.
Oh yeah. Oh, that painting behind you is awesome.
Oh, I love it. At Facebook Marketplace, gold find for like $50, but it's an original oil. It's been so inspiring.
Oh, that's good. That's the stuff that I am like, oh, that's good. That hits. Because the amount of study it takes to do something so clear, and the layers and yeah, good. And usually underappreciated.
Yeah, it's just really pretty. All the glazing and seeing all the strokes. Meanwhile, I'm over here. I was hoping I'd be able to paint, but then I realized that I have to catch up to work stuff for tomorrow.
Oh yes. Yeah, we can talk about that because I am kind of about. Ooh. Do you have any headphones?
I do not. Sorry, struggling.
Oh, it's picking up.
Sorry, I will be back.
Do you have go put some little headphones on. Oh, okay. Do you mute it?
Yes, I did mute it to reduce the noise. I'm gonna go look for my my little headphones and get those hooked up to the Bluetooth, and I will be back.
Okay, sounds good. I'll talk about and we'll wait for you to come back and I'll talk about catting and stuff. Okay, so that's Amanda. She owns Light Hand Tattoo in Fort Myers, Florida. And she's my buddy. She just went with me to Health City as well. And see, that's why we always stress on the headphones, because it reduces all the outside noise. Because these things are sensitive. Yes. Oh, she's got her there. Okay. And you're never late. If anyone wants to ever jump onto these things, we totally take late comers with, we're good hosts, we hope. But yeah, no, that was a good question. I'm really glad that we're going to talk about it. Is how do you tattoo and paint, and how do you, Okay, so I tattoo a lot. I have a, I got a full schedule. I do tattoo only Wednesdays through Saturdays because I also am like a co-manager of my business. Um, I'm the owner, so I do orders. I don't even paint on those days. Um, so I try my hardest to actually like, that feeling you get when you have a cancellation and they're like last minute cancellation, and you're just like, oh my God, and you kind of lose the vibe. I try not to lose the vibe. If someone's running late and I'm already set up and I'm just like looking out the window for them, sadly, I literally just have a place like in my shop. And, if you work at a shop and they have a problem with this, you can be like, that's weird. Um, put it in your booth or something small that you can set up, just like a little palette and like your paints. And so you can just kind of sit down and just get to it while you wait for them. And that's it. I don't wait. I'm a really bad waitist. I will keep moving. Um, I don't know if that's something I should probably talk to my shrink about, but I am really bad at waiting. I mean, I will. I'm very patient if I know what's going on, but I yeah, standing and sitting out a window to me is like mind-numbingly. Um, I can't do it. I have to kind of keep myself focused. And again, I have a whole list of things I have to do all the time. So I just keep looking at the list and seeing what I got to go from there. But so I do that. I'll have a cancellation or I'll have an early night. I'll take that early night, and I don't have kids either. So, that is a factor. Um, but I'll try to take that early night and at least like gesso some canvases, which if you follow me on Instagram, you can see I've just been making these little stories about gessoing. I'm a romantic nerd about gessoing. Like, God, if I could spend the same amount of attention gessoing a board like I can like on a boyfriend or like I'd probably keep a boyfriend better if I could spend that much time. But I love gessoing. It's soothing. Some people hate it, you know. But gessoing is basically taking acrylic and a fine silica, sand, chalk, and evenly distributing on your board or canvas. So it has a really nice structured base for your paint to cling on to and something that won't corrode from the behind it. If you have a really acid, high alkaline, or not how anti-alkaline, sorry, board or a piece of wood or everything has acids in it, right? So you need something that will nullify those acids and something that will allow the oil to absorb a little and then settle. So the paint and the pigments have room to settle and, firm. So without a really good gessoed board, if you're doing oil and even acrylic I'll do, it's all about your surface. It's all, it's about that really clean foundation before you even start your painting. And sometimes that's the one thing that people skip out on the most is the stuff you should probably pay attention to the most. And I'll do several layers. The board that I'm painting in my stories is for a giant painting that I've actually already started painting, but I decided I hate it. It was weird. I like drew it out, and I didn't look at it for a while, and I felt like the proportions were just off. So I said, fuck it. And I like turned it over and I started doing another painting. And that's it too. I didn't gesso it or anything. I thought I was just sketching it and I just kept going. I was like, oh shit. So now I have to actually do it for real. And now I think I'm like, oh, I actually have a painting idea and this is wonderful. So the gestoing of this board that I'm doing, I mean, if this board doesn't last 3,000 years, I'm going to be surprised, you know. Because if I'm going to put that much effort into a painting, I want it to last. And yeah, it's kind of how my brain goes with it. But I'm doing some really nice thin layers, letting it dry, doing a thin layer, letting it dry, and then sanding it at the very end. I'm sanding it a little bit here and there, but sanding at the very end so I get a really nice, fine paper-like texture, and that's what I'm after. All right, Ananda, are you back? Hello?
All right. How is
Nope.
this? Can you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Sounds better.
Yay.
Yay. I just relocated. Had a little, yeah, it works. Yay. Awesome.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
what
so
you were,
sensitive, even if you like, hmm. Oh, yeah.
uh,
It's just, even if you hold like the thing with your hand or something, you can hear this. It sounds like cool old boat squeaking.
ooh, yay, old boats, but not right now. Not a good vibe right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I love what you were saying about putting the attention into the underlayer because I have really struggled with that lately because I get so excited to finally be painting again that I just want to get straight into it and just start laying the color down. But it does
I
make
mean,
such a
but,
difference.
well, yeah, and then I mean, your painting will actually go faster if you think about it, because you're not spending this time just like repainting, rehashing out the same, like over painting. You're just like redoing the same shapes over and over again. Like this keeps the hand moving, you know.
Yeah.
And you can do, yeah, and you can do color, or you just do dark midtones and stuff like that. So yeah, like for me, I'm like, oh my God, I will overwork a painting if I just like try to finish it in a night, you know. I will
Mm-hmm.
totally overwork.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what found it so hard at the wet paint. People were starting like painting start to finish, and I was like, holy shit.
Oh man. No
Oops.
pressure.
Yeah, can't do that. Sorry. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna even
that
try it.
was such a level up. That was, I mean,
What?
it is one of the experiences like that just call you to just do better, just figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but I feel like there's so many things that I would do differently now that I've done that. And yeah, one of the biggest parts one of my biggest takeaways was putting that work into the underlayer and just putting the same amount of time that I would think that I would put into a painting, like a finished piece, into just like deciding exactly where all the shadows are going to go, getting all of the proportions perfectly figured out before, getting into working color and everything like that.
hmm I was
Mhm.
taught to paint very loose, super loosey goosey. Like I will even like move my hand all the way back to the brush and just like sit back and just like pat, loosey goosey, squiggle, squiggle, and a pat and a
Mhm.
squiggle. Because I can see back, I can sit back, or I'll stand up and get all the way back. Like you see those really cool, like really long extensions and like little things. Like that's a trick to loosen you up and to get in your values the way that you want to. Because if you get really close onto things, you can't see that. It's really hard to see the big picture when you're so close in it.
Totally.
For life and for yeah, I'm like, well, that's prophetic. um,
True. Things are
so yeah,
true.
so
I feel like
true. So yeah, no, thanks.
that's such a tough thing as tattooers because we're so like honed into how the tattoo's going into the skin, how like the micro noticings of like what's going on, and it's
Mhm.
such, I've heard these last forever and stuff, so it feels like pressure sometimes. So just like stepping back
Mhm.
and just going like really loose and abstract with it for a while. Um, I've noticed
Mhm.
that, you know, it really does take a total like shift in perspective to let myself like
Mhm.
loosen up.
Yeah, it definitely helps, like, when I'm drawing tattoos now, because I mean, I used to have a serious problem with value. Like, I want everyone to fully know, even if you've been tattooing for like 15, 20 years, go get a critique by someone you like their work. You know, even if they're mean and scary, go get that critique because they will
Mhm.
tell you. And every single person crushed me about my value. And I'm like, God damn, you know,
No.
like how long have I studied and I can't figure out value on my tattoos? And that's stupid. Like I would have like high contrast tattoos, and then I would have some tattoos that were just like, yeah, if this was black and white, you wouldn't see any of it. And I have gone
Mm.
back into those tattoos. I always go back into my work after the fact, especially if they've been critiqued like that. I'm like, okay, I'll go back. Um,
Mhm.
but with painting, painting loosely helps me get that shit taken like in gear. It helps me see, you know, stuff that I can't really see because I'm thinking about the body shape. I'm thinking about this is the time to see value and color and, you know, rectangle compositions.
Mhm. I love that.
Yes, I mean, that's the main difference in tattooing though, is you don't have the rectangle composition.
Oh, right. Yeah, you don't have
So
that like given
you have
border.
to think, yeah, yeah, you have to actually think a little differently in that way. What am I doing? So what are you making, Amanda?
I am working on this concept of a girl holding up a bunch of like flowers, but they're like balloons that are like carrying her up. That's my sketch from the
Okay.
consultation. These are my notes, fun little notes that I took, and the prep work that she gave me of the flowers that she likes, and the idea. Um, oh, I forgot that it was supposed to be a small girl. Important information. Yay. Oh yeah. Just getting into it. So a bunch of flower outlines just to get, I really like when it comes into doing like realistic illustrative realism flowers. I just like finding good references and then just making a clean line drawing over them. I used to just eyeball
Mm-hmm.
everything, but it takes so long and some of the realism gets lost too. And quite frankly, when it comes into tattooing, there's so many pieces that I'm pushing out that I somebody put it to me really really well. They're like, this is a tool that you have. Because I was like, no, it's tracing,
Mm-hmm.
it's cheating. And it's like, no, you're
Mm-hmm.
utilizing the tools that you have. There's, different moments for different kinds of for different tools. So yeah, I'm going through
That's a
and
oh, go on.
yeah, just going through tracing my flower outline so then I can get my base that I will fidoodle with later and tweak and move around as I get it
Mm-hmm.
exactly the way that I want it for this unique piece. But yeah, I like to start out with a realistic outline of the flowers, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'll abstract them and adjust them later.
Right. Well, I do want to actually bring a good point with this because this was an apprentice question from someone,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Well, like, what's the difference?" I'm like, "Well, when you know how to draw a flower, you can totally like use the shape and trace the shape. Tatters have been doing that, and artists have been doing that forever. Like
Mm-hmm.
we used to use tracing paper. We used to use
Yeah, right.
a light
Exactly.
tape, and it's for the purpose of making sure it's right, making sure your shapes are right. But if you know how to draw a flower, you know how to draw a flower. So we're not tracing it. We're just, it's there as like a helper. The iPad, yes, but also the picture of the flower. Because you're not going to draw every single thing that photo has in it. You're going to use the basic shapes. And the apprentice was like, I don't get it. I'm like, well, let's go draw some flowers and then let's trace it and let's see what the difference is. And then she was like, oh, okay. She saw that she knew what those stamens actually were. She knew what those, like the veins of the flowers, how those work. So she knew the dimensions of the flower. Like if you know like how the veins work in a flower, you know, all those little petals, like you can figure out like how that petal works and how it moves.
Oh yeah.
And yes, that's the big, yeah, a lot of people are like, is it tracing? I'm like, no, not necessarily. Because if you trace it, you will have a fucked up drawing.
Yeah, there's definitely artistic choices that need to be made in order to really have an elegant design. And I realized that also I've been like kind of calming down from like the to-do of getting, you know, remembering how to do this video thing and everything that's been going on personally, and you know, that balance in the background, and just kind of like zoning out and just, it's just drawing, you know. Really awesome person once told me when I was nervous about working convention or a guest spot. I think it was a guest spot. And this great friend was like, well, it's just tattooing. It's just tattooing. You're just gonna go and tattoo. It's you know how to do that. Just relax and let it happen.
Yeah, you're just gonna let it happen. You know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, the life balance, once you have all these little tricks, life balance starts happening, you know, from what I have seen, because life balance, I think, is the hardest thing in tattooing. I think because there's so much that we can do, we have to figure out what we need to do.
Dude, yeah.
I have that problem. Yeah. I'm like, but what do I need to do? I know I have plenty to do. But what's the most important? Like, will I make a lot of money doing that? No, probably not. But I'm gonna do it, you know? Let me go over here and do this craft real quick. Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that feeds your creativity, though. At Hell City, there was this really great talk, a panel hosted by Toby. Oh my gosh, I just met him this weekend. His last name, absolutely phenomenal painter and artist. His name starts with a G. I could probably look it up. But he was talking about how those times when we feel like we're not working, you know, when we're not working and we're like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And he's like, that's you're feeding your creativity. And it's such an important part of the mix.
No, it is. It's like once you are I was talking to my friend after Hell City too, about the guilt monster. You know, like these kind of conventions really help us have this guilt monster. And it is like seeing all this work, like, oh man, if you have the feeling of, oh man, I should paint, or oh man, I'm not doing enough, that's the guilt monster. But it's like our friend, and maybe it'll help get through this like stagnant, weird side that we may have been in. Yeah, the guilt monster's positive. He's fun. He cracks jokes, but he'll keep you. Yeah, he'll keep you up at night, going, "Oh, I just really need to put some paint to some canvas right now." What does your guilt monster look like?
Oh, Toby, my guilt monster looks like a mix between a monkey and a gremlin. And I feel like they just like sit in my shoulders, like between my shoulder blades, and just kind of like pull my hair every once in a while. Like, come on, you need to do this. You need to do that.
Nice. That sounds like an all real monster, you know?
That would be awesome.
Mine's like, looks like my grandma and my ballerina teacher all mixed in one. like a real ladylike high bun, like, now Renee, have
Mhm.
you painted today? Oh,
Oh, geez.
you are wasting your talents.
Oh my god.
Ooh, very, yeah,
Mhm.
very, very, very tight high bun. That's my guilt monster. And she's like, Victorian collared. Um, yes. Yep.
That's funny
But I
that you
like
say
that
that.
yours was up.
I love that you say that because there's like a Alice in Wonderland influence to the dress of the person I'm doing, and I'm just like dropping into that vibe. And you're just
That.
the voice of your guilt monster reminded me so much of like, now Alice, like the teacher who was
No.
with her trying to keep her on task.
Yeah, that was me, bro. I was Alice. I was like, all
Woo!
right. Oh my. Oh yeah, I had a book of etiquette given to me, I think at age 12, and it was
I had
serious.
one
Like,
too.
it wasn't
When
like yeah, it was like you better learn this. And I was like, oh, okay.
oh, that's what we're doing now with our lives. Oh, all right. Mine was white gloves and
Mm-hmm.
party manners.
Oh, the debutantes.
Oh
Oh,
yes,
no, mine was
the
like,
Nashville
I hope.
debutantes.
See, I didn't learn that. I wish I did. I learned how to set a table for 16 with all the silverware, all of it. I know every single name for every silverware you could have. Like, I know where they go. I know how to use them. I have a collection of demitasse spoons because those became my favorites.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like every single girl in my family got like a full silver set, that my grandma handpicked for us. I was like, we don't do that shit now. Oh my God. Like, I buy some stuff on Amazon and have it sent to my niece's house.
Mhm.
Like my grandma like squirts this stuff. Like, she saw that someone died in the paper and she thought, ooh, silverware. Like, what the fuck?
Wow, how else are you gonna
But
get good
we
silverware?
that's how you do it. You
Death,
wait. You
death
just
and
wait.
silverware.
Yeah. That's
This
a
is how
book.
it happens. This is how it
This
happens.
is how it happens. Oh yeah, my grandfather was a crazy, wonderful man, but like he got a little grouchy in his old age, and I laughed so hard at him one day. Which, I mean, that's how he was. I could laugh at him. He was just an old Romanian man, and
Mm.
he said something about a new maid in the house, and she's like, "What if she steals the silver?" And I was like, "Shut up! Oh my god!" It was just too good, like no one gives a fuck about that silver, grandpa. Oh my god.
We are past that.
But yeah, we're past that. We're talking about cryptocurrency now, Gramps.
Exactly.
Like, she can't hawk that. Yeah, she can't even hawk it out of the house. How the hell she got to pawn it?
Mhm.
All right. Even with my underlayer right now, I just wanted to point out I'm doing a lift technique where I'm like cleaning my brush out really good and mineral spirits and conditioning my brush with mineral spirits and drying it out and then lifting off where I want some more highlight or I want some more texture. And it's an easy way without having to like go in and add your light tones while you're doing your underpainting. And
Oh,
I'll take my phone off the jack and I'll show you up and close like what it's actually doing because it's pretty cool. And it just really helps get like a natural light sense. And then the mineral spirits does spread a little bit because you can't get your brush totally clean from it. And it creates these really cool textures that I like to manipulate after all this dries or settles for a little bit. Like, I'm literally going to hop onto another painting as soon as I'm done with this one and do the underlaying for it because I have the paint out and this is how we conserve.
this is how we
And that
do
too.
it.
Oil paints. how we do. Oil painting can be expensive if you're wasteful with it. So don't be
Mhm.
wasteful with it. Um, I just get out a couple colors at a time of what layers I'm going to do. And then I use it in that sitting. Like I'll go around to other paintings. I'm like, ooh, it needs a little bit of that. So if you live with your paintings, it's really easy to keep working on them. But let's see. And I came back home and everyone was like, holy shit, did you sell the mother painting? And I'm like, no, but I finished it. And that was a painting that took 2 years to finish. But it's currently drying and settling in Fawn's booth at Red Tree.
I love how that turned out. Talk about
Thanks,
depth,
dude.
man. All the different tones that you
Thanks.
got going in that.
It was hard. Um,
I believe it.
yeah, I'm never doing. That's dumb. That was a dumb idea. I was like, what am I doing?
What have
Dumb.
I
Uh,
done?
so I can explain to those who don't. The mother painting was my ode to my mommies, who served the great duty of childbearing, because mother octopuses will, protect their nests, their eggs, and won't move for like 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months or something like that.
Mhm.
And so they're tired, they're starved, by the time that their babies hatch, and then their babies, and then they die after their babies hatch usually, and then their babies eat the moms.
Nom,
So
nom,
I
nom,
did
nom.
a really, really detailed painting of a mother guarding her eggs. And those eggs took forever because I could have just done little satchels, but no, I wanted to put like little translucent baby octopus embryos in
That was one of
like
my
a
favorite
jerk.
parts about it though, is that there were so many layers to the colors and the like the texture within the egg. There was some transparency going on, and the subtlety with the glazes was trapping a lot of light too. Which is really pretty.
I put gold. I made a the final layer that you saw had, because I had like, what I did is I like did 2 layers of the eggs, and then of like the back of the egg sac, right? And then I drew like in the little octopus, and that was a whole layer. I was drawing this little, like painting this little octopuses in there. And then the layer that everyone got to see me do is like the final outside layer of the egg shell, and which is like a thin jelly, like it feels like a tubular seaweed, it feels like a cartilage or something, but thin.
Totally together.
Um, so I was like, like seeing these things in person is real wild because they are translucent, but they're like, like gross, like medical latex is kind of yellowy and white. It looked like that. So
Mhm.
I put in a little bit of gold. I was going to use an ochre, but instead I used a gold. And that really captured the light. And I did that in the foreground ones. And that was like really, because it was translucent, it had gold in it and a pinch of like a white. And so it looked
Mm.
like ochre, but also shiny. But it also looked, it was cool. I like it. Let me
Mhm.
get up close. Sorry guys for the shaky ass camera. So let me get up close so I can show you. Let me see, I participate. Okay, cool. Let me show these little details that, let me show you the action that I did too. So like right here is just literally, it was solid pigment or oil paint that I put on there. Let me clean out this brush real quick and I'll show you where did that go on. But see that natural texture that I was able to get? That bulbous, rounded, chunky monkey texture.
Mhm.
That was really easy. I just did some figure eights on there. And then with some darks, and then I went in with a midtone underneath, to capture that light. And then like, see like right here, I can just like go back in and be like, boop,
Mm.
boop, boop, and then you can manipulate it to like doing like cool little anything you want really. I can make like sharp little lines. I can make like, I can do all kinds of little stuff. And that's sometimes how I bring out my texture in my, because sometimes if I don't want to, I do want to get down the color, but I really want to get down the texture in the underpainting. And that's how I do that. Like I figure it all out in the underpainting where my highlights are going to be, where my texture is going to be. Here, I don't want that actually. I want this. Yeah, let me go back. Because I am kind of, this is kind of important, especially if, I mean, I know it's something that's so minutely not noticeable, but I notice it in paintings. Like I could go through and put white because I want these little tendrils of the ends of the octopus tendrils to be like really bright because that's going to be my focal point. And then I want this eye to be like real kind of creepy back there. I don't know if anyone, this painting is octopuses that they're so old, their tendrils are so thin and weird and like flaggy, you know. That's for those. That's gonna be an old boy, you know. This is an old boy right there. So to make sure that once I paint that and the texture is nice and flat and this looks like this is on top of this, I wait till I do all of this stuff back here. So that final layer and I can get all those details, that will rest all on top of this. So I don't want to touch this. I want to leave this as flat and clean as possible. So when I go in with all my actual coats of white or opaque colors, like all my light tones, I'm dealing with a really clean board, no texture. So that can really sit on top of everything. So again, I'm going to take away and drag and push and clean, and take away, drag and push and clean. So I have a couple little bit more darks left. I do have out like a little ochre. Let me get out that. We have some midtones still we can do. We did all of our darks on this guy, so I want to get in what midtones I can. Let's see, I have like a blue, Prussian blue for setting everything back into the painting. I want to use a little bit of a warm tone, still kind of fleshy, to push the eye forward on those tentacles. Oh yes, and I have that nice buff titanium mixed that together. And I'm gonna take my mineral spirits and really, really kind of wash it out, like make a really nice thin layer. And then kind of go in and just kind of put in those nice little midtones. Oh, you are doing pretty. Pretty midtones. And I want this to be kind of blurry because this isn't going to be my focal ground, so this, or my foreground, so not my main focus. There we go. That was like the whole sentence I was looking for. Said focus ground. You know, y'all know what I meant. This is a perfect opportunity to do this when the painting is real wet. It's not really, just kind of blend everything together. So how are you feeling after Hell City? I gave everyone a little intro of who you were and stuff when you're looking for your headphones.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm still buzzing from it. I've been doodling like almost nonstop. I got to sneak away to a family lunch yesterday, and I was literally just sitting at the table doodling all kinds of random stuff. My cousin who was visiting was talking about how she liked to make cakes, and so I started drawing. I was like, when was the last time I drew a cupcake? And then I started drawing cupcakes. Just looking up references and be like, oh yeah, that's how I do that. So yeah, I feel like I'm very much in that, just still hyper absorbent, what am I capable of, and what, kind of reminding myself like what I can do regardless of whether or not I think I can, you know what I mean? It's like, well, let's try it. Let's draw a cupcake. Like, oh, what if I try it that way? Oh, yeah. Doing good. I mean, hmm?
Oh yeah, no, it's sorry, I think there's just a little lag. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Just yeah, my son being sick and everything, and and he's starting to feel kind of better, but it's like still kind of coming and going. So it's a little weird, but I'm just hanging out for it.
That's weird.
It is what it is.
I know. Why are all the babies are sick at once?
I know, right? Your kitty, and then like my dude got sick while I was gone. It's like, no, this is not how this is supposed to work. I leave and everything
never leave,
stays just where I put it. I mean, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Man, what stuff I need to do.
I'm gonna bring my babies with me next time.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I think it'll go over really well.
I've never done it. I don't know. That's 3 babies, one Nissan, I'm gonna have to stay at the La Quinta Inn. But at least I'll know what's going on with them, and I won't have to use my psychicness, which I mean I practice every day,
So on point though, man.
I said that, I knew something was up.
Yep.
I knew it. Yeah, I was like, all I could say was what? Like, I miss my cats. But I was like, something is wrong. All I can think about is my cats right now. And something is really wrong. And wait, we're gonna have to take him in. He's gonna look like a Viking cat after all of this. I mean, he already does, but
taking him back for his ear, getting more work done.
Yeah, it's getting gross again. Yeah, it's bad. So my vet's like trying to figure it out because usually it's like blunt force trauma, which I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to think about mites, like ear mites, or an infection or something. And I'm like, it doesn't have ear mites. It doesn't so I don't know what's going on, but my vet, she's really good. She'll figure it out. And I'm like, man, I got to go to vet school. I want to be able to do this myself, But it's so gross. It's so gross.
Yes, I need to be able to drain my baby's ears. So.
He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. Just like his mama. He's like, no.
Well,
no.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Little Taurus baby. Well, yes. Cauliflower. Yeah, like fighters get cauliflower ear and stuff,
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, well, what happened to your ear? What happened?
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah. I know. I'm talking about the shop. I'm like, we're going to have a Save Pippin benefit where she's going to be like, donate to Pippin's vet bills because he's awesome. We're going to try to save his ear. Yeah. I mean, either way, he's going to look cool.
He's going to be super cool. He's so lucky to have you as a mom. It's so good to see babies taken care of by people that appreciate them so much.
It was either that or death, so you know how it goes. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you put a cat on me, I can't have it be I'm that person. If you see a person pull over on the interstate to pick up a dead cat and put it at least off the street, that's me. That's me. Yeah. Classic. but I'm pretty good at it. I'm safe. I've gotten yelled at a lot. But whatever. I'm like, you see me, just don't hit me. Fucker.
It's that easy.
Yeah,
don't make it about
what
you.
I'm doing. Yeah. I don't care I'm in your way. It takes me 2 seconds to just get this beautiful baby off in the middle of the street, for fuck's sake. So, that's how I feel about it. All right. I think that I'm almost done with this underpainting. Almost. I'm gonna get my
Mm.
little crevices of Patricia here. Yeah, let's see, Hill City painting side. I wanted to like physically have like a chiller time, and I forgot how heavy my paintings are. Um, so that I felt like, oh, duh, that was a dumb one on me. But it was like it was just different. Like usually tattooing is so, like just, I don't know, you're talking to clients differently and, you know, it's just a whole different scenario, it feels like. But I had fun.
Oh yeah. I had a lot of fun too. It was very different painting um versus tattooing, not having that client interaction and just kind of just being in our own little world. It was kind of relaxing, but at the
Hmm.
same time, like it was so easy to zone out into my own weirdness. How healthy is
Yeah, I
that?
felt like I couldn't tell what time of day it was.
Oh yeah. Like
I
looking up
felt
and
like that.
realizing like, oh, it's 11. Like,
Yeah, like,
I could have
oh
left hours ago.
shit.
I don't know. I felt like I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to keep going though. I mean, there was such a great vibe in that room. You know, like so many amazing creators, like
Mm.
all together. And it's just like, all right, I need to take a break from like what I'm doing. And then I just like, just looking around, I didn't even have to get up, but just looking around and be like, oh man, oh yeah, oh okay, cool. And then I look back at my painting, I'm like, well, I could do that. And I mean, I could, well, not like what they were doing, but you know what I mean? Like seeing something new in my painting that I wasn't seeing before, just by having so much like
Hmm.
artistic stimulation around. It was it was a
Right.
great vibe.
Oh, and I mean, you gotta help me think on this. I mean, because I feel like pretty exposed, to the art world, and I've
Mhm.
kept myself pretty involved. And I just don't feel like there's events like that for painters like that, that's like so easily accessible to the public. Like I,
Mhm.
I mean, I've done plenty of shows. I've done plenty of, like art, like art fairs and stuff like that. But like for those are outside. Those are like, I felt like this was like a whole different vibe to where like we were actually creating as well and showing off and presenting. Um, and so I feel like even for people who are collectors, there's a lot of collectors there,
Mhm.
purchasing paintings. I just, yeah, from their perspective, like what a cool thing to have, because yeah, like you don't have to, oh, I'll say it. I don't want to say it, but I'll say it. Okay. You know, not to be offensive. Oh yeah. You don't have to like mill through the hotel art fluff, that you see at art fairs sometimes.
Mhm.
It was all really, really quality, amazing, fine artists that are all really professional and know
Mhm.
exactly what they're doing and doing not just sellable art, but like archival in the sense of romantic history, like they're expressing their thoughts in these beautiful, like artful ways of communication about the time and presence of life. So I went to art school, and there is a difference between someone making sellable art and art that is like actually communicating a time and presence in history, right?
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
and, and not everyone wants to buy it and hang it in their house, but you know what? Sometimes that shit should be put in a museum so people go like, "Oh yeah, I remember that," because it invokes feelings, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're not nice. That's what I consider to be actually inspirational art, like art that is man, like should be logged, should be archived for expressing a time and a place in reality. I mean, that's why I do the plein air. That's my vibe on that. But when people are actually doing it from thoughtful images and doing abstractions, and I mean, that's just cool. I have been in something
Mhm.
like that since art school, and that shit is so magical. I mean, it's an artist movement, really. That whole thing is, our whole city is an artist movement for sure.
It definitely feels like that. It feels like a
Yeah.
reclaiming of like, despite what other people think that this, should be, this is what art is. And there's so many different perspectives there. There's so many different, um, yeah, walks of life, and they're all just coming together, just doing what they do in one space. Nothing really comes to mind, anything that I can compare it to. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not an adequate comparison, but the closest that I can come to is just being back in school for art again, just
Yeah.
having so many different, but without the experience level. But that kind of
Right.
interaction of like, oh, what are you doing over there? Oh, cool. Like, and then, without being like directed towards the same thing, aside from it just being like, yep, just painting in front of people, or we're all here tattooing. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it's really something special, that
Well,
show.
yeah. Yeah. No, it is. Well, usually when people are tattooing too, you don't want to bother the client either. But when people are painting, you can be like, "Hey, come over here, eat a sandwich with." Hey, why don't you make eye contact with me real fast? Like,
Talk to
you can't
me.
do that when people are tattooing.
No,
Yeah. Hey,
no.
hey, touch my face. Just do it. Why not? You know, that's a weird example, but you can't make that connection with people when they're tattooing. So I think it's just very cool that like here is an opportunity, very much like school, where if you see someone doing something cool, you can literally go up to them at that moment and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? That's cool."
Mhm.
And you're not disrupting the process. You're just, it's yeah. I feel like I haven't had that in a really long time, and it was really, really nice to have
Mhm.
that, and just to have the capability of having some of my favorite artists come and critique me. Because the mother painting has been kicking my ass for 2 years, and I was just like going around, be like, "Hey, what do you think? Tell me what I need to do. What's going on with this? Something's up with this." And it literally just took like two little tricks to see what I was missing and see where I was falling flat on it. And then after that, it was fine. It was perfect. I was like, wow, I feel really good that it's done. Sick.
Nice. Yeah, that being able to get other artists' perspectives on it is I think it's one of the most valuable parts about being together with other artists. Says they see so much that I
Hmm.
didn't. And um, yeah, I think that's why I'm just like, I'm saying, I'm just gonna draw everything. And then I was like, oh man, I actually have to do the stuff that I'm, the stuff that I planned on doing before. Um,
Yes, yes.
Come back to professional life, yes.
Ah, yes, this is the life. I
This is a
mean,
life.
all yeah. I mean, that is my life, though. All I do is like take care of my studio, paint, and cat, and tat. Yeah, a tat
Cats
and I
and
cat.
cats.
Um, cats and tats. I mean, I know there's a lot of anxiety of people painting live. Like, there's even a lot of people that I invite to draw night, and these are for you, for you people out there. I get it. It's scary. Getting in front of a bunch of people and making art, but and because I get a lot of apologies once a week, I'm like, I'm so, like, oh, I don't know,
Mm.
and it yes, and I'm like, it's okay. I was bred to do this. Um, my family was actually really, really supportive of my arts. Like we are an artist family. My grandmother paints. My uncle Brian, drew like amazing illustrative dragons and wizards and shit, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
Everyone's a musician. Oh yeah, I took after my Uncle Brian for sure with like the sci-fi. Like I loved Fire and Ice when I was younger and like wizards and stuff. And
Classic.
my dad was just like, yeah, he's like, oh God. um, and I love metal. Like I remember seeing like a Black Sabbath poster in my uncle's room and being like, hey, because he was the youngest. And I'd be like, that's cool. He was like, yeah, it's Black Sabbath. And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was so in my church and stuff, and for rec center events, and they would have me paint. They were like, "Get up there, paint." Ooh, it was like part of the entertainment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like most parents are like, "Oh, hey, why don't you get up and like sing everyone that song you learned?" But mine was like, "Hey, why don't you get up and paint something?"
So much
Um,
better.
hmm But so I'm like really, really, really used to painting live, um, talking and painting. Like I'm just used to all that. But usually it's the same vibe as, hey, you're just gonna go and paint. That's it. You're just gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you can practice by if you're gonna paint, bring someone in the room with you and just have them hang out behind you and they can talk to you and you talk back to them.
Yep.
My cousin would do that for hours. She'd just come over when this is like before we could like really like go out and party or anything. We were just poor 20-year-olds. And she would come over and just like sit behind me and I would paint and we would just shoot the shit. I always had plenty of cats for people to hang out with.
I was drawing Pokemon at that point, the school point, when it's like, oh,
Oh,
draw me something. Draw me something. I do all the backgrounds for the theater and then Pokemon for everybody.
oh yeah, it was you that you and I were talking about doing the theater backdrops. Yeah, I want to find. I need to call some of the churches in St. Pete. Be like, do you still have that thing? I have a bunch of the Christmas, like newborn baby Jesus, the North Star. Man, there is some of these backdrops are like absolutely gorgeous. Like they gave me a flat rate to do it, and I just like, can I spend 15 hours on this? And they're like, yeah, I guess. Like, thanks. I just put in the extra effort because I was like, man, like everyone's gonna see this thing,
Yeah.
you know. So I gotta make it cool. And oh my god, it was like my job to do like the manger and the night sky behind it. And god damn it, I have to tell you, that is the most beautiful night sky I have ever made in my life.
Man, I
I'm like,
believe
where
it.
is this stuff? I want it.
I want it back. Can I have it
Like I
back,
just hope,
please?
yeah, I want it. Can I have it back? Or hopefully they still use it.
That would be the best. You
That'd be
go back
cool.
there for their Christmas play,
That would be
like, this year, and you're like, hey,
hey,
I feel like
actually that happened.
that
Hmm.
happened to you.
Well, it happened at my old school. Yeah, I was like an alumni. So I just like went back to visit, and there were so many paintings of mine in the hallway,
Oh
and I was
man.
like, "What's up with this?" Like I played it cool, and I thought that they were just like, I don't know. It was like I made so much art that I like forgot about them, but they were
Mm-hmm.
like, they totally had a moment where like we aren't supposed to have those artwork. I'm like, no, those are mine. What the fuck? I thought they had gone missing.
Uh,
But I let him keep it. Yeah, I let him keep it. I remember, I think that I took one because one of my professors did die. And so I took the painting that I had given him.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and they're, oh yeah, like they're, yeah, I don't know. That's a family establishment. Like once you're a Gibbs like attendee, you're always a Gibbs attendee.
Mm-hmm.
I could go back right now and they'd be like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Nothing.
Oh, hey, it's you. Like, yeah, me, the one that put
Yeah.
all the work in. Oh,
Yeah.
and my pencil bag.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
alive.
You know, when you were talking about
Uh-oh.
the hmm,
Mhm.
being
Mhm.
being made for like being made for doing like art in public, I've really struggled with that because I feel like the um well, yes and no, I've struggled with it because there's a part of me that just steps in and is just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it, you know, regardless of how other people see it or, you know, whatever. But and I think that that's a big part of it is just like getting lost in the work and, you know, letting it move through those like rough under like sketchy stages that um or just having it done beforehand. uh
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
Act like
very
you come.
very smart way of going about it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
but but no, I
you
mean
know.
just kind of embracing it for what it is and just embracing yourself as you are as an artist and just being like, I am here to draw, I am here to paint, and this is just what I brought. This is what I brought to the situation. I think when I
Mhm.
do that, it does push me into making stuff that I, you know, that may be better than I would have been able to make otherwise because I'm not just in my safe zone, you know, I am pushing myself to improve or to, you know, to do something more than I thought was possible. Just
Mhm.
show up and let it happen.
Mhm.
Don't make it weird.
It's,
Just let it happen.
yeah. Don't make it weird. I just always keep in mind that not everyone knows how to do art. So when they're watching me, they have no idea what's going on. I could literally do anything and they would just think that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that helps me concentrate. And you got to try my headphone thing that
Those
I
were
do.
those were
Um,
life changing, man.
yeah.
That
All
made
right.
such a huge difference.
I'll talk about that then. Okay, neurodivergence. On spectrum, uh,
Yep.
I I am definitely something. And I have noise canceling headphones, and I learned those from my sister because my sister also is very noise sensitive, and she's half deaf. So like what she does hear is like loud. Um, but she has noise canceling headphones, so she can just focus. Like if she has to write an email, she has to do anything. She just puts them on and she might be at a cafe, she might be at home, she might be anywhere. She just has it on and it takes out every little bit of white noise that could overstimulate the brain. Cause that noise sometimes will just put me in a straight panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's not like an anxiety thing. It's just my brain just says, nah, it's just like, nope. And then I just have to sit on the ground and wait till it passes. So being able to cancel out the idea that there's people watching you or cancel out like first, I always like practice my setup, like an hour before I leave to go. I like practice how I'm going to set everything up. I see what's the most comfiest. Because even when you get there, you're going to have to figure out all that anyways, because it's a completely foreign place. Um, and then yeah, just try to remember what you're doing, like what your goal is and stick to your goal. And just like people are going to talk to you, people are going to try to distract you. And you can even say, like, oh, give me 1 second. I'm about to finish this paint. That's always a nice one. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I'm at the point now where I have go-tos if I need to paint public, like we have art shows and stuff, and I'll paint live and people love it. They just like it's extra entertainment value. And so I have go-tos. Have a go-to. Don't try to start a project if it's your first time doing it live. You're just gonna kick your own ass with disappointment and anxiety, and it's just gonna be even harder for you. So have something that you can paint at the top of your head, like have your reference, but know it. Like I really know octopuses. So usually if I'm live painting, I'm just going to paint a fucking octopus. Most people do skulls or roses or eyes or, like you always see in the paint fusion at Hill City where everyone paints together. It's always eyes or skulls or roses or something along that genre because those are comfortable things. There's just something that we draw all the time for tattooing. So, if you're just a painter, like figure out what is your signature thing that you can just whip out and it will help you, especially if you're put on the spot because I'm put on the spot all the time, it seems. And I've just gotten really good at it over the years,
Mm-hmm.
but it helps. I don't know. I think my parents and my grandparents knew that I had anxiety. So they're like, get that girl on a stage. And I have all these videos of me as a kid being like, I don't know what to do with my body. And they're like, yeah, like there is a video of me. I think I'm doing some ballet performance and I was itty bitty. And I just stopped mid performance because like the person next to me like just threw me off or I like didn't, I was just thrown off. So I just stopped and then walked off. Like but first like looked around and you can see my brain like thinking about it, like, do I want to stay here? No. And then just walked off stage. Oh,
And now we're done here.
Yep. And now we're here,
Mm-hmm.
Now we're here. So it's always baby steps. It's always just acclimating yourself to stuff. But I think the misconception that usually people have that I want to clarify is this stuff just doesn't magically happen. We're not taking some secret brew, I mean, some of us might be talking to Jesus, but I'm surely not. And it doesn't just move through us. Yeah, some of us are just talking to the moon, but it doesn't, yeah, it takes a lot of study, a lot of study. Because I was trying to describe H.R. Geiger to my dad, right? And then I started talking about like bio tattoos, like what is biomechanical, what is bioorganica, what is this world in tattoos? Because I like to do it. It's fun, it's different. And so my dad is just like, what kind of drugs do you have to take to do this? And I'm like, actually, you'd be surprised. It's just studying nature. It's just a lot of study. It's a lot of thought. It's a lot of like carefulness in your thought about how things function, how things work, how things stretch and bend. If you know how plants grow and like really know how they grow, understand that they'll move, trying to find the best source of light, how baby tendrils will form off of like old, if you understand that and how it works, you can draw bioorganica. No problem. If you study textures, like you can do all these things from your mind, but it comes from studying, anything comes from studying. Like if I just draw a snake head, it's not because it just came to me. It's because I studied a snake head for years. Now I can draw it. It's like muscle memory. So that's a good idea for like any kind of live painting, like for anxiety purposes, for just it's your first time and you don't want any kind of oopsies. Just paint something that you're really comfortable with. That sun's gonna be through. We have this dramatic lighting that happens right now. Let's see how it goes.
Ooh, you got some light rays coming in through the windows there. That's pretty.
Oh yeah, I know. I think I might put like a little shield up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put up a little. Oh dang, that Oklahoma sun. Oklahoma, the plein air stuff. Oklahoma has got the biggest skies. That in Kansas, they've got some big skies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They are
I've
just
heard of them. I've seen them in movies.
endless. Oh yes, they're quite nice. I quite enjoy them. There are clouds. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. If you like big poofy golden crusted Jesus clouds, we got them for days.
Oh man, need to go
Like
there
that.
and talk to the Jesus clouds. Figure my life out.
Oh yeah.
JK.
Okay. I think. Oh yeah, much better. Oh yeah, teamwork. I took all those racks and like made like a cool little chunk section in my library painting spot. And I think
Nice.
I'm obsessed with these racks. Mhm. So I think our underlayer is almost done. Yeah. Bye. My last coworker's just leaving. Bye. Am I the only one here? Yeah. Cool. Cool. The studio's gonna be all quiet and nice.
Nice. That's cozy.
I know. I like my studio. I wish my cats could come hang, but they'd lose their shit. It's so big. They'd be like, "We're never leaving." Okay, I'm getting in real tight with this painting. Ba-ba-ba. I think I kind of want to talk about. Did you hear my intro? Did you hear my intro? When I first started Amanda, with like, I had like some topics, so I don't want to seem sporadic and weird,
Mhm.
but I want to talk about like how we get back in the fold of things after conventions, because honestly, I'm like, how the fuck am I painting right now? I'm so overworked and tired from just all the activity, all the stimulation,
Mhm.
all of that.
There's so
Um,
much too. So many different
hmm
aspects to it. Um, uh, I did hear a bit, but it was kind of like coming in and out as far as like turning one thing on,
well,
trying to
no,
find it here, trying to find it there.
yeah, no, that was it. I was just, how do you find when you get back from the fold? How do you, kind of get back with it? Do you have any
Mm,
advice you'd like to share?
I'd say for
Because you,
me, it's a matter of just accepting where I am, just noticing, like
mm,
noticing that, okay, I'm feeling really tired and I really want to be productive in this or that direction right now, but my body needs to rest,
yeah,
or I really want to go ahead and unpack my suitcases still aren't unpacked.
hmm
Because I got back on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday I was tattooing again. So I
mm,
guess just kind of just ooh, except, as I said, accepting where I am, accepting, okay, I'm tired. What do I need to bolster myself for the next couple steps? Where is my rest going to come? And just kind of accommodating and planning for that, I guess. And instead of feeling
hmm
like, oh, I should be more this and I should be able to, I should have done this X, Y, or Z before or whatever. It's just like, okay, yeah, there's that. But I'm just gonna
like
relax.
negotiating your guilt monster.
Exactly. Well, it is acknowledging the guilt monster and be like, okay, yeah, that's valid. I definitely want to do that differently next time. But right now we're here.
hmm
I feel
hmm
like I'm constantly negotiating with my anxiety and guilt, and
Yeah.
it's becoming less and less with time. And I think that part of that has come from just just accepting it, and allowing all the different pieces to be what they are as much as I can. And then just choosing where my focus is going to go,
Yeah.
like it's like, oh, well, I'm feeling stressed about work for tomorrow. Well, I'll go ahead and just work up what I can now in this time. And then, just like, and then what's the next step, let it come together, I guess. I'm still so new at this.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's my advice? I don't know. Figuring it out,
I
man.
I try to never give advice. I try to just share personal experience. So if everyone
Mhm.
shares their personal experience, at least someone will find advice in that.
Mhm.
Um, I realized a lot even this weekend because of just this kind of conversation. So that's why I always will ask just to see if it probes anything cool for anyone. But um, I think like how we get through everything is completely like person to person. Like it's all
Mhm.
about like what you're dealing with in your life for sure. Because
Yeah.
I even like didn't realize this. Like I've completely my entire career changed my hourly, changed my hours, changed my process, changed my style, all based of what my lifestyle was and how I could handle it.
Mm.
And I mean, like it really hit me until like recently when I got COVID late. I was like a cool guy, came late.
Mm.
Um, I was so like messed up from it. Like I couldn't even like I could feel it. I could feel how tired I was. I could feel like I lost like 50 pounds and muscle
Mhm.
mass and all that stuff. I was tired. Like I think it was like last time we were in Columbus, I couldn't even like walk down a street. My legs were shaking, you know. Um, and you and me and climb mountains, like what the hell?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I knew I was in trouble. I knew I couldn't draw every night. I knew I couldn't, oh wait, sorry, I catch my breath. So I had all these back pieces that I had been working on for years, but I just like finally like, all right, I have this energy right now, so I'm gonna finish them and sell them, outline them, and like this will help me like not have to draw every single night, and I can just like come in. I'll know exactly what I need to do. I know how to position my body. Like it made my life easier in the sense that I could like maintain with how my body was at that moment. So every
Mhm.
single like yeah, it's hard to give like advice because everything is so different, like kids, pets, shop, kiddo,
Mhm.
wives, sick, age, everything should be a variable in how you can find time to do the extras. But usually it's usually that like little block that gets, and that's another kind of little demon. That's that block of wanting to paint. And that happens to me when I become very comfortable, you know, like
Mhm.
if the world's okay, I feel like I'm taken care of by the planet and I feel good. I usually don't like paint as much, you know, because
Yeah.
that survival. Yeah. So
Oh
at
yeah,
least like
that
that's always like
survival, like I have to paint in order to survive isn't, or making a living. That's, the making living, making art thing. Well, this is how I'm valid, so I need to be up
oh,
on it.
I mean, no, I barely make money off my paintings. No, I think it's more of like my outlet of like if I am like I can't like get my emotions out or communicate through my tattoos. So like if
Mm.
I yeah, like my paintings are more emotion based, you know. Like I can make pretty colors on a canvas, like the octopuses just happen to be formed. um so yeah, like if I'm happy, then what the hell am I gonna paint? If I am battling with something, then I can paint something. And that's how I am able to like survive within my own self, you know.
Oh yeah. It
So
finds a voice that way.
yeah, I wish that I could make more money off of my paintings, but no, I'm not there yet. It's hard when I barely sell them. So you gotta sell it first. So, oh my God, I felt so weird selling my art though. I was like, this is weird. You mean you're gonna go home with it? I'm never gonna see it again? They're like, no. I'm like, is it done? Oh
But this
gosh.
is a painting. Like I should be able to stare at this however I want to, or decide I need to do more to it. What? How could it leave me?
Yeah, I've had this painting for over a year, you know?
Yeah.
Or yeah, that one that I sold, that thing was, yeah, I think like 2 years old, you know, and I had finally done the final layers on it like 8 months ago. And you know, but it was hard. It was like a little baby. I vetted the person. I didn't even mean to, but I vetted them. Like I was like, okay, what do you know of art? You know, like what kind of art do you have? Okay. And
Ah.
his girlfriend had that sleeve from Nick Baxter.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
like, what? Yeah, that's what I was like, okay. This actually soothes my woes because at least I know they're going to have respect for the painting.
You'll appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I found actually, this sounds terrible. It wasn't like one of the greatest paintings I've ever done. It was a very fast amateur Renee painting of like a flapper girl smoking a cigarette, you know, very
Mhm.
traditional, single line, flat color. You know, it took me probably like 20 minutes. I was like barely 20 and it was found in a garbage. My
Oh
friend found,
man.
we live near USF, so it was a bunch of college kids. And I know exactly, I sold it at a bar, you know, art show, you know, and so it was probably like a gift or something. And we would dumpster dive these colleges dumpsters all the time because they would like literally throw out laptops and shit in there. And so that's where it was found. It was found in our community college, our community university dumpster. Um, but that's my greatest fear is like, will this be like, you know, like tossable to you?
Yeah.
And I think that's the scariest thing is people who buy art who don't consider it part of the family, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah, like some of my paintings, like my collectors say that like the painting is going like being passed on to their children and their grandchildren. And I'm like, good,
Oh,
because
good.
it should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, we spend so much time on it, you
Yep.
know, and yeah, it's I mean, I have you know, I don't know, I've got some paintings that they will stay in a closet until they're ready to come out, but I'm not throwing them away. They're just, you know, I change out my gallery a whole lot. Which right now, getting ready for the summer show, and I realize that my cold little dead heart doesn't really like what the fuck does that mean? My coworkers are really helping me with the summer show. I was really good with like the whole winter and fall themes, and now I'm like in spring. I'm like, oh yeah, I can be cheeky, right? Yeah, spring is cheeky. Okay, I got that. But summer is so yeah. I think it's cool though what I've found so far. I saw like every single time we have a show, we have a big gallery, so I know we're not going to fill like all the spots. I go through my art collection, which is pretty big, and I pick out filler art to go with the pieces that are submitted.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have like a real nice feeling and a nice flow through everything.
Oh,
But you
nice.
know, Amanda, you know me, I have to be careful. I mean, I'm pretty dark, you know. So
What, you don't
sometimes
want to show people too
you know, I
much?
just gotta, they're
Oklahoma
like,
can't
well, that's
handle
kind of
it.
morbid. I'm like, I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Well, there's so many different there's so many different expressions of art. When you were talking
Yes.
earlier about like when you're really going through something, you find it really easy to create, because there's just so much back there that needs to be expressed. And when you're happy, it's a bit harder. There's so many different ranges, and art evokes feelings. So most people are like, oh, they want the couch art, like you were talking earlier, the furniture store art. I just want something
Yes.
that looks pretty in my space. Whereas making something that actually evokes emotion is almost a dangerous thing, because, people don't really, it's like, are you prepared? Are you prepared to like have feelings? Can you
Yeah.
handle having feelings right now?
Okay with that? Well, yeah. I mean, I like to stretch the bar too. Like, I like people to think. Like, the art that I
Mhm.
do collect is all think pieces, you know? Um, and I mean, there is one thing of summer, for anyone that's going to come to the art show. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but we are going to have a surprise at the very end. And like, okay, what do you think of summer pagan rituals? You think of like the movie Midsummer. That's what I've
That was
gotten
the
so far.
first thing that
And,
came to
The Wicker
mind.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Wicker Man, Midsummer merges together. We have a surprise at the end because we also have a drag show. Um, there's a group called the Bang Bang, and
Nice.
two of those people work here. So we're gonna have the whole crew come. And we have a really cool surprise that it only takes a little bit of special effects. And Austin, who is the most amazing performance artist I've ever seen. So
Nice.
I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah, everyone knew I was having a hard time with those. I'm like, it feels so sunshiny. And I was like, Austin, what about this idea? Can you do this? And he was like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, cool. So that's just a hint. Think
That
about
sounds
Midsummer.
exciting.
Think about the Wicker Man, and we're gonna do that. Yeah, but no one's gonna be harmed, for real. So
Physically, forever.
physically, yeah. Mentally, probably.
Mind your
We're
vibes. You can handle it. You'll be
Yes, we're
okay.
gonna do it. It'll be okay. We're gonna do it late, because it is a family friendly show. Um, so we have a door person, so we won't let kids in at a certain point.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, it's gonna be cool shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I was raised with like, I think we are from a darker generation. There was so much going on that wasn't necessarily like joy filling. That, I mean, I like expressing the brutality of reality.
It's so often suppressed. And I think I think it's very important to actually like work through it, or to just acknowledge that it's there. I mean, it seems so trivial, just accepting and acknowledging things, regardless of how uncomfortable they are. But it's such a powerful thing to just exist alongside of it and be like, yeah, that's valid too. Um,
Yeah, that's
you
there.
know, yeah, exactly. That's there.
Yeah.
That event happens, and this is what came out of it. And it's I think that's one of the most beautiful things about art personally, is that there's no, that's not good. That doesn't make me feel good. So that's not good art. It's like, no, just,
Yeah.
that's just not for you. It doesn't mean anything about the art. I think art's
Yeah.
supposed to express like literally whatever's in there. When
Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
feel inspired, I feel like I create some of the weirdest stuff, when I just just push myself to like, well, I don't know, I'm just gonna draw something. I ended up drawing some
Oh
like
my.
Southern belle hair with like a baby face, like a baby doll face inside her face that had a third eye, and Like, I was like, I don't know
Right.
what that means or where that came from, but yeah, that's there, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, and that's where I think that's where that big misconception comes from. It's like it doesn't just flow for us. We have to actually like be inspired. We have to have a thought. We have to have like a painting has to be for something sometimes, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, I can paint you a juicy, sexy octopus because I know composition and I know flow but like will it be one of my more empowering ones, the one that makes you feel things? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably just be like, yeah, put it behind your couch. There. Ooh, people be like, oh, it's an octopus. Cool. Not the, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Octopus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want my octopuses to invoke children to go, whoa, you
Mm.
know, kids are the best critiques.
Oh yeah. Yeah, being at Hell City and the kids coming by, and be like, oh my, there's snakes for her hair. It's like, yeah, best reactions.
Look at that octopus. They're like, yeah, I know. We need to bring more kids stuff with us.
Mhm.
I felt like I felt like we had all this awesome kid spoiling potential and we were just not prepared.
Yeah, definitely. Like I wanted to
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had
That's the
suckers
one
at
thing
my table.
yeah, for
I had suckers at my table. So I'm like, all right,
well,
cool.
you had the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were like the cool crystal lady. I was just like the weird octopus girl. I was like, have a sticker.
Brock Auntie.
They're gonna,
We all have our
yeah, you're gonna be
audiences.
like,
I had
oh,
the small children and you had the art critics. It's fine. I'm fine.
but I want sounds terrible. I just want children. I just want like, yeah, but the kid visits I really do enjoy. If any of you like our art and you just want to bring your kid to one of these events, we do not mind kid visits.
No.
It's a great, no, it's a great break. We get to like get off our little stools and come coo and like some cute ass kids. Like it's great vibes. Kids are great vibes. Yeah.
Definitely.
I was really happy the baby visits we got this weekend. I think they
Oh
knew. They were like, "Oh,
man.
yeah, they
Allie's
knew."
baby is just so cute. Just so cute.
Oh my god, I know. Yeah, the most popular little boy in the whole world.
Dude, for real though, is the king of Hell City.
There should be Hell City babies or something. Little Hell City or Little Hell City Munchkins. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
like Hell City Hotties, but Hell City Munchkins,
Yep. Yep.
and everyone gets like a free onesie or something. A little Hell City onesie.
Yep. Yep. You are the sweetest smelling and cutest baby of them all.
Mm-hmm.
But probably a bit of a mischief maker. I mean, it is Hell City, and like, what's the Hellion baby gonna be like? I mean, I don't know. Brain's going in so many different directions now.
No, it was definitely a cool time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I did it 'cause we got this art show coming. And man, I had like so much weird pent up energy from my rest day that I like rearranged the entire side of the studio. We've already discussed it as a studio, like how we wanted the new rearrangement. Um, so I just did it. I had the energy. Um, and we can hold a lot more people in here now because
Oh,
there was
nice.
like our last art show. I always stand up at the second level and like look down and see like how was our flow. Yeah, I'm like gotta see traffic flow in the shop, see if it goes well. Um, and yeah, I just kind of everything's a floating wall in the studio, so I can like literally with like um I can move things around like Tetris if I want. It's really cool.
I cannot wait to come and
Okay.
visit your shop.
I know,
Oh,
man. Do it soon.
is that Medusa? No. Yes.
Do it.
No.
Yeah, do it soon. We do take on guest artists. Everything is supplied if you want for the ecosystem that I have. We're completely eco-friendly, which is cool. Besides our gloves, that's like the only thing I really haven't figured out. That's more of an economic issue and supply issue. So those are two pretty big issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not the only one
As
dealing with
far
it
as
though.
oh, oh, I know. But I mean, as far as everything else though, we got it. So that's pretty cool.
I
We even
can't wait.
compost.
Dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's
We
really
compost.
amazing how many like
We
green steps you take.
Yeah, it was COVID that brought it on. Like, we weren't allowed to do anything, so all I did was paint and research stuff. Like we're even like shredding our paper, and I'm making bio waste cleanup with it. And I'm making these little fire logs that everyone really likes because we have access. Like, we have so much. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just get real bored and I start thinking about stuff, and knowledge is power. I'll watch YouTube videos till like 4 a.m. learning about how to make stuff.
All right, it's working.
Ooh, hello. Hey, how are you, Medusa? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Everything looks weird. I am on my iPad, which is, I don't like using this one. So, okay, I just figured out how to get to gallery view. Oh,
Okay.
nobody else has a camera on. All right, so.
No, we do.
There we go.
It's you now. It's just a hot photo of you.
Thanks. This is really the better option.
Okay.
Super.
Okay. What is everybody up to? Sorry, I'm late. I don't know how to tell time.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, what time zone are you in? You're like all the way over there.
Yeah, I'm very West Coastist.
Yes. Isn't that like 2 hours something?
Well, it depends on where you are. 2 hours ahead of you.
Oh.
And then everybody else in
Oklahoma.
Reinventing. So behind. Yeah. And then 3 hours
Oh,
behind everybody else.
okay. Right. You know what the craziest time zone that I still fuck up to this day is New Zealand. Like conceptually, I know what it is. I'm told what it is. I have this chart that I go, if it's this time, it's this time. But conceptually, I still can't figure it out. If you go back,
honestly, I think it's pretty rude that the rest of the world is at a different time. Like, expect me to do math and figure it out.
so rude.
Not my cup.
How have you been? What have you been up to, dude?
I have been working on formulations like a motherfucker for my aftercare.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, getting that tidied up, and been making a lot of jewelry, and my charger cord doesn't reach.
I saw your jewelry. That shit looks cool.
Thank you. Yeah, my coworker gave me a bunch of dental x-rays. Making jewelry out of some of those, but I've also been making like clay stuff. Just
is there anything that you want? Like, I can send you a care box of stuff.
I love human teeth.
Oh, okay. I think I might have some animal teeth.
I love all sorts of teeth and bones. But
yes. Oh, I have a bunch of extra bones of like sea bones, like crustaceans or like fishies and stuff. They're all from the Great Lakes, so they're not too gross.
Oh, I just
Um,
realized that it's the Grasshopper funeral crew.
what?
Oh, yes, from Paradise,
Yeah.
man, Mountain Vibes. That is a
Oh,
good
Like
time.
I still have my phone showing me like, memories from Paradise. It's like a couple of things from in the building and then a crap load of stuff from us walking in the woods on the last day. Just like
yes.
pictures and
That's
pictures
such
and
a good time.
pictures of rocks and leaves. So like reference photos. I've never used any of them as references, by the way. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
actually taken a picture and used it actually as a reference, but in the moment, everything is a reference photo.
Yeah.
Did you know
Albert.
you can type on your phone under the search, you can type in whatever, like type in tree and it'll show all the trees in your phone. Or if you type in like
What?
cat, it'll show you all the cats in your Yeah, so if you ever need a reference, just try your phone first. And
AI is
it'll
going too far.
You're
yeah,
blowing
yeah.
my mind
I
with
do.
that.
I had no idea. It blew my mind.
I've got to get
But yeah,
going.
like
The boys are
okay, it was good
having
to see you.
dinner. It's so good to see you guys. I love you.
Love you too, man. Good to
Bye.
see you. Yeah, bro. Like I'm the same. I have so many reference photos, and until I like found out about that little search thing, I had no idea I could even do that. But yeah, just try it. It's cool.
The amount of things I've taken pictures of over the years as a reference photo and then either completely forgot
Oh,
and
yes.
still like I have toured a lot of rose gardens and I have taken a lot of rose pictures. And yet when it comes time for me to draw a rose, I'm just like, hey, Google, what does a rose look like? Like I've seen 1,000. I
Well,
have pictures of it.
it's so easy to Google, but it's even easier to go in your own photos. Oh, I have the
Okay.
You're
If
gonna
you
think I'm
ask me to go through my own photos, I'm gonna sift through a couple of photos and be like, all right, I've got a reference photo here somewhere. I gotta find it on somewhere buried under the 2,000 photos I took of my dog.
well, that's what I mean. You can type it in. If you
Rose.
type it into this, yeah.
Is that an iPhone thing? Because I've got not an iPhone.
It is an iPhone thing. Do you not have a search in your photos?
I'm not investigated, but I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
I'm not tech savvy like some
I'm
of
not
you
either.
brainy people with your
What?
gadgets and your knowledge.
Nah. Kyle had to hold my hand getting the Zoom call working, and then it didn't work. Me, I'm cursed. And then, so he had to do it anyways. But I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm like an old lady and I don't know what's going on. But
The amount of people Kyle has to hold hands for as they're trying to set up their Zoom call.
I know it's not funny, but it is funny. We're just ridiculous.
Kyle, help! The
He's like,
gadget's smarter than me.
yes, but he just doesn't, he handles himself with grace. And that's why we all come to Kyle, like,
There's a search option and it was in front of me the entire time. I feel really dumb for not knowing that. It's like,
it's right.
There's 4 things I can do and it's one of the 4 things. I don't know how I didn't know it was right there in front of me.
Everyone has a search option. Keep taking your reference photos, y'all, because you can just search for it on your phone. Who fucking knew?
It even recognizes my dog and found all of the pictures of my dog. Which I told you I would get distracted by dog pictures. And here I am.
go. Here you go. Oh yeah. How many dog photos do you have? Does it tell you how many you have?
Well, I'll tell you when I'm done. Oh, look at this guy. He's a happy guy. Of course, I'm distracted. Okay. I have of Jonesy. What is in this file? No, it doesn't tell me.
Oh, I
Hmm.
it's kind of funny when you can find out how many. I have 36,000 of cats. And
Wow.
yeah. But they're just so darn beautiful.
No. Reference photos.
Well, reference photos of my cats, yeah.
If I ever need to draw a cat, I'll hit
Yeah,
you
they're
up.
gonna be my cat. Yeah, I've got it. But no, it's
Oh,
really helpful.
600. I have
Oh,
600 of Jonesy. That's only in this album. It also looks like there's for my other dog Bomber. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3 different albums, 4 albums where it just looks like a different dog. Phone's not that smart. So I have to combine how many photos are in each album, I think.
yeah, that makes sense.
It has.
Well, I mean, it's pretty smart. It's just not perfect yet. But I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of eerily smart that it knows it's a dog. And not just like some weird shadow.
Ooh, okay. I'm merging some albums. All right, I'm on a whole different kick. What are you working on, by the way? Are you doing some tentacles again?
Yeah.
Always with the tentacles.
Oh my gosh, I freaked out someone. You'll be proud of me, Medusa. I scared an artist that I thought was pretty cool and like out there, But I think I freaked her out because she asked me what they were about. And so I told her. And then she was like, "Oh, I gotta go." And I'm like, "Okay."
But
So
share with the class. What are your tentacles about?
okay, it's a long story, kind of. If you see the tentacles that have the red background, that's the origin story of the octopuses. Overall, all the octopuses are transdimensional, like evil beings from a different planet here to absorb our flesh. Um, mhm. So the whole story is that there is like this cold, barren planet made of water, and with the core is like still hot. So all these under like alien tentacle beings are all like squeezing the core for its last warmth. But a random ball of light like enters their environment, and so they like start reaching for the light, and they breach the water and continuously keep reaching for the light, and they eat planets, and they're world eaters. Yep.
I don't know any of this, but I am diggity down, dog.
Thanks.
Tell me more.
Yeah, they're gods. They eat worlds. My first show that I ever did of them was called From the Muck It Rises. It's kind of a Zoroastrianism idea of gods where it all starts with the muck and then therefore with a little bit of light and movement. Like pretty much anyone can pick up their bootstraps and be a devourer of worlds. Anyone can, it's a positive note. Um, mhm, mhm. I didn't read Lovecraft until I was 25, and I've been painting space demons since I was like 9. So I really have no idea what the hell's going on. But the first octopus paintings were when I was really young, and they were really graphic and like scary. And even my mom was like, "Oh wow, what the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "It's the space demon." And those had these things like glands. And I said that there are like glandish mouths that would open up and bees would come out of. So I have these paintings like bees, and I mean they're all like kid drawings, right? But So there's like bees coming out and like killing the humans, and then I imagine them like then like laying on top of them and like sucking up all the human jelly. So
Do they like to enjoy a little snack of peanut butter and human jelly sandwiches?
yes, delicious. Mm. Yeah, I just don't think people like. I mean, I respect, earthbound octopuses. I think they are the ancestors of these gods. Um, and they are beautiful and creepy, but they have the wit. I try to focus on their eyes, um, the most because I think that shows like the true ancestry of like the alien aspect of them, like the ancient wisdom that we don't know. So that's how I paint them. That's what I keep in mind. That's like their background story. You know how Jesse Smith like has his whole land? That's
Yeah,
basically,
Carcaeus.
yes, that's basically mine, is that I'm in this like space. I'm painting these dimensional travelers. And sometimes I paint them current, and sometimes I paint them what they were like in the past. So I go in and out. Like if they're underwater, then that's their origin story. If they're in space, that's their travel, and then or the redness is their red water. It's like a blood water. I was watching a lot of Metalocalypse back then, so blood ocean.
The human jelly water.
Yeah, blood ocean. Yes.
I'm just
But
holding the camera so I can be on my dog the whole time.
oh, how is the puppy?
He's good. He's hamming it up, getting some scratches right now. Happy boy. He's a happy fat boy.
He's such a cutie pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you met him.
Yeah. He was wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
And everybody kept confusing him with the guy that sings Margaritaville.
What?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what the fuck? I should know this.
Something Buffett.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, everybody kept confusing him with Jimmy Buffett, and I was like, nah, this is Jonesy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, don't you even know?
Jimmy Buffett. What the fuck?
Something about Hawaiian shirts and Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. It kept getting mentioned.
It's a Florida thing. I mean, I've gotten drunk on a Margaritaville before. It's a whole thing. I'll just say that. Did I enjoy it? I don't know. Would I go back? Nah, probably. Maybe. I don't know. They have really good margaritas.
I'm not a tequila person. When I used to get wasted, I was a gin drinker.
Ooh, I like the gin now. I couldn't do it when I was younger.
Oh no, something about me felt like an old man, and gin was where it was, like an old man grandma.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like I'm a classy lawyer that works near Wall Street when I drink gin, because I make cocktails. I love making cocktails. It's like a thing that I've been doing like all year. I got a cocktail kit, for my birthday. And I was like, oh, it's on. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to make cocktails. And
I have never been good at making cocktails. I lasted about 2 weeks as a bartender, like 3 weeks. Well, actually, it's not because I don't like making cocktails. I learned very quickly that I didn't want to be in front of the house anymore.
Yeah, front of the house sucks.
Although, I want to make drinks. That sounds super fun. I didn't realize that I have to deal with drunk people too, which I should know because I, at the time and before that, always have historically been the drunk people. But I never really realized that I would have to face that one day. It was terrible. But like put me in the back of the house where I only have to like make food when the buzzer goes up, and I can spend the rest of the time like watching some shitty TV show on my iPad while, prepping other food
Yeah.
alone where nobody will bother me. Back of the house, the best.
The best.
Not
Yeah.
financially, but if you don't want to deal with people, that's where you go.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's,
If I were
think
to
why-
ever go back to the food industry or the service industry, food service industry, bar service industry, yeah, back of the house is where it's at.
Oh God, yeah. No, I would love to be a prepper. Just do food prep and then like leave when I'm done.
Oh my God, it's so funny. You show up at like 6 a.m, do all your prep for like 3 hours, and then bounce.
And then bounce.
Yeah.
I think that for stocking stores too. Like I love delivery men. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some weird daddy issues, but I see them as like superheroes. And I'm like, you made it. You're okay. Thank you.
Hey, Daddy, are you bringing me presents?
Yeah. What you got? You got something? Like, I love them. And I love breaking down boxes, and I love like the physical activity of like, like I would be a great stalker, and I could just listen to headphones and fucking get it done. Fuck yeah.
There are some like
I love
very underappreciated jobs out there that are actually like kind of nice.
Oh yes. My sister always jokes how she just wants to quit everything and like go work at it as a barista at Starbucks. And I've had that job, and that job was sick. It was wonderful.
I think also a lot of times that people don't realize how fucking awesome those jobs are, because they suck in the time being when you're like longing for something different. And then you get something different and you're like, man, I really want to go back to that. Like if there's any job, if I'm like having a really rough day in the tattoo shop, I'm like, man, this is my dream job, but I would definitely be down to just go back to being a prep cook or a line cook like right now, because I'm having a rough day, and at least in the kitchen nobody bothered me.
Yeah, I delivered pizzas for a long time, and you just have these moments of just jamming out to music in your car and just driving, and you're like, cool, everything's okay. But yeah, this is our dream job. But sometimes, every now and again, like I would love to work at a Michael's, and just help people out all day with their crafts.
I don't want to help people out all day with their crafts. I want to craft. Like, can I set up the displays or like make the craft? I want to be a craft product tester.
Ooh, no, I just want to help people make shit. Because when I'm in there, people ask me all the time anyways. Like old ladies are always like, I'm like, hey, can I help you? And they're like, oh, I'm trying to do this thing. And I'm like, you know what you need? You need this from aisle 8. And then you can do this. Like I'm already doing it. I'm already living the life. I'm almost there. Or, and then I'll like, there's a cool like museum in town. I'll be a docent on the weekends. Ooh. I like how we're talking about kind of our pre-retirement.
Like, I want a bunch of dogs and a bunch of cats and a land.
Goats.
I'm gonna work in a kitchen. Prep cooking.
Prep cooking.
Spend the rest of my days testing crafts. Craft
I'm gonna
products.
be stock girl at Michael's.
Yeah. No, dude, like I want to
Yeah.
well, I want to be my other dream job besides tattooing. It's definitely like if like Sculpey came out with a new line of polymer clays and they wanted a crafter to play with it and just to give them feedback, I'm that guy.
You can do that now.
Wait, is that even a thing? Or because I know there's video game testers. Can I be like the craft supply testers?
I don't think you'll get paid. Oh, I don't think you'll get paid for it, but you could do that now.
Well, I still got rent to. Still gotta make rent. Oh yeah, that's what. I do my regular job for.
That's what tattooing is for. But
Yeah, I forgot. I do have a regular job.
yeah. So
A regular job.
I was watching what was oh, Shameless. There we go. I finally got on the Shameless kick. And they said something really fucking I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir. But I guess one of the characters is getting housed by a dad. He's like, so what's this guy? Does he have a job or something? And they're like, yeah, he's apprenticing to tattoo. And they're like, isn't even that an art form? Just putting it's just skin, like putting ink in the skin. And I was like, excuse me.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, you do it.
Yeah, you do it then, punk. You know, I think it was Lip who said it. I don't know. Have you seen Shameless? It's actually pretty good.
I watched a few episodes and I could not get into it. I really couldn't. I gave it a couple of tries. So I watched the first and second episode, both a couple of times on different occasions when I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get into Shameless, but I couldn't do it. Same thing. Like there's a lot of shows that I just could not get into. But there's other shows I like. So no, I will not understand anything you're saying if you mention Shameless. But
No, I think
I just finished Succession.
Ooh, yes,
It's infuriating, but I definitely have a lady boner for Kieran McCulkin.
Oh,
Culkin. I'm
Is
getting
she
him
one
and
of
his brother confused.
oh, that's cool. Oh wait, like the sister of the McCulkins?
Kieran Culkin is the name of the actor, one of the brothers in the Culkin family that's in Succession, and his character is just a terrible fucking person, but he's hot.
Oh, fuck yeah! I mean, the Culkins are pretty hot, like all of them.
Yeah, they're just babes.
Yeah, they're all babes.
On a completely different note, I just opened up the package for the new ignition kit for my motorcycle.
Oh yeah, I've been watching.
Actually, right after this, I gotta head out to go to my friend's house where my bike is at in the garage and put the ignition in.
I think I'm gonna wrap up in probably like 20 or so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's about right. If anyone who's watching live wants to ask any questions or has asked any questions and I haven't answered them because I just figured out how to do that, feel free to DM me and I'll like post it or bring it up again our next draw night. You know, we're simple people with the online stuff, with the digital things.
Yeah. Simple, slightly spicy artist, easily distracted, interested in octopus overlords.
Yes.
I want to know more. Okay, I want to know more about this octopus overlord god world of yours.
Okay.
Like I know you draw a lot of tentacles, but I didn't know there was a whole thing behind it, and I'm hooked now. So you gotta tell me more about the folklore. Like, what are the names?
They have no names that are pronounceable by name. If you know, you know. Here, let me take you a little walkabout. Here, let me show you. I'll show you some more. Okay. So, this is the one I'm working on now. Isn't that nice? That's more of a current one. Yeah. And I wanted to show how ribbony and gross these can be, because they can be. They can
so
be
fucking cool. Your art is just
thanks, man.
Thing.
Well, now you know where they come from, you know. Okay, so let's do a walkabout. This is my shop. This is my studio. Okay. So let's do these guys first. Hold on. So these are not done. but they're from an old series, and I have them all just flat and real purpley, and I decided to actually put some color into them because I've learned things from them. So this is like, imagine like, yeah, so this is like the beginning, and imagine an entire planet that's covered with this mass of these octopus gods like swirling together and mashing together, and they're old, they have like barnacles and like, you know, like they're contributing to an environment. They are so old, and you can see them in the distance, like the whole realm is completely like just this tentacly thing. And then, okay, did you watch the heavy metal movies?
Oh yeah.
Like the old
Well,
ones? Okay,
the first one.
okay, good. The ball of light that is like the connection to all of the,
Yeah, the evil ball of light that corrupts everything.
yeah, that, so I did it there. And so,
Oh, that is gorgeous, Renee.
thanks. This is called the first sight. And so the octopus tentacles are like immediately drawn to this orb of light that just came through their environment. And you can hear it like, and now we enter the void, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're all, I love the tentacles and little bubbles, like the boiling blusters of the heat of the core. They rise to the top. And then there's another painting that is huge. Like imagine this height, but it's equally the width of it. And it's like the octopus going like, you know, like, "Rah!" and like
Yeah.
swimming up to the top. And this is some more, so these are lovers. They love each other. They're lovers. So they're
Oh,
like,
that is so pretty. Dude, those textures. You genius.
little balls of light. And I think the other one's sold. Yeah, but you know, oh yeah, this is my old as fuck painting. This is one of them that I was like 9.
You were what?
I was 9. Look at these mouths.
You were
Look at
9 when you painted that?
Yeah.
Like 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, my dad found it like on all these drawings and stuff. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and then my sister, like, oh, I have a thing. I have this like thing that's typed out for it too. It's pretty good. But it's like the red paint. I like forgot about this painting. So I still have the red like background of the sky and like the same purples and stuff like that. Like that's what I think is really crazy. I still use the same, like look at that green dude back there. I still have the same color palette. Oh look, I finished this one. Oh wait, let me get it into better light so you can see it. Everything is askew because I'm setting up for the art show. Oh, you can't see it. In the day right now. In person, you can see it. On the phone, it sucks. So this is the heart. That one was a hard one. Never doing it again.
That's amazing.
Thanks. So, yeah. This is our little humble abode. Check it out.
I need to come visit.
Yes, you do. Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you this.
Oh, the plants. Look at all the plants on the sky. It's gorgeous. Oh, that is cool. That's such a lovely display.
I like it. Look, I got that's a new one. All the little ammonites. Right specimens.
That's
a
super rad.
That's a squid beak back there. Look how big that is.
Frick,
Like a squid
dude.
beak. It's like that big. And
I want a
that's this little
squid
like
beak.
dude, it feels like a human. It's really weird. But
It
yeah,
feels like a human.
or like a nail. Like it feels like a human nail.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And it like sheds like that too.
Wow, your place is
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
This is my library. Check it out. Do, 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 do. And this is
Oh,
your
that's
secret.
gorgeous. Oh, I love the ladder and the door. It's perfect.
Thanks. And that's my booth in there. Yeah. And then that's from our spring show, but we're like, let's keep it up. Oh my gosh. So we took our onion skin from our stencil sheets, and then we took our drawings and made flowers for the spring show. And we
Oh,
just
that
keep
is amazing.
we just keep giving them to people as they leave. Like, oh hey, we love you. Here, take this.
Here, take the stuff you don't want. Here you go.
Yeah, take the stuff you don't want to store. We don't want to store it.
It's like, you store it. It's yours now. You touched it.
Yeah, they're always like, "Oh my god, thank you!" And I'm like, "You're welcome."
It's like when you're going to a convention, and the end of the convention, at the end of the convention, it's time to pack up, and you're like, "I got all this merch I don't want to take home."
Yeah.
Hey guys, you want some stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm doing
And like, it's
window.
not trash, but I don't want to deal with it. So here's the present.
Here's the present. Yeah, I love finding the vultures that like brought a dolly for after the like they lived there, so they came prepared. Like, hey, are you flying? You want that? I'll take it. And I'm like, God bless you, people.
Oh man, yeah, I just not having to deal with like the cost of baggage on the way back. Because like with a lot of airlines, you've got a certain limit, and then if it just goes like a fraction of a pound over that limit for your like checked bag, it doubles in price. When I was coming back from Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rico convention, I was bringing back less stuff that I had brought there because I sold some stuff. So logically, my suitcase should be lighter. However, I had gone swimming and I didn't have any like flip-flops or shoes or anything. So I just went swimming in my Chuck Taylors, and they weren't completely dry. So they were still a little wet in a plastic bag inside my luggage. And that alone almost caused me to have to pay like 80 extra bucks to check my bag.
Oh my gosh, I would just put them on. Be like, fine.
I did. I ended up putting them in my backpack, and I was like, carry on.
Yeah.
So, it was like the luggage weight dropped so much, and oh man, I don't like traveling when it costs too much.
No, I know, same. I think I'm just gonna drive everywhere now because I think I have to bring my cats with me everywhere now. It's just gonna be a thing. We're gonna travel together.
I am looking forward to gas prices dropping one day.
Yeah.
Cross my fingers for that so that I can afford it. But like for me, not being anywhere near any of the other like reinventing people is like, everybody that lives in Ohio can drive like 5 hours and see each other. For me, that's like 4 days and $600 in gas. Because I was thinking about driving to the Indie Tattoo Expo, but in order to make that happen, where I'd even have enough time for pee breaks and stopping for food and stuff, I'd have to take an extra 7 days off just for driving time.
Oh yeah, easy. I've done that drive. It's hard. It's really hard. Quick note, because I think sometimes traveling for shows like that, like I think of it as attacking the USA is, as a traveling artist, is really hard. I've had to split it up over the last 17 years by going, okay, I'm going to do the East Coast for a couple of years and maybe one West Coast show. I'm going to do, but I only do like shows and guest spots and stuff like that if I know I have clients, or that I know that I won't like break my bank So like the stuff that we're talking about with the reinventing, like will be seminars, will be things like that. Like Medusa, like anytime you're out in the Midwest, like guest spots are available too. But yeah, the time away is so hard. Um, you should look into like the evergreen stuff too. Like that's near you, and a lot of us
Yeah,
do
Evergreen
like.
Convention is probably the one big one that's local for me.
Yeah.
And I went and hung out at it with my boss who was working it and everything. And this last time, and I decided not to work it because I kind of wanted to hang out and have some just chill, relaxing time.
Mhm.
But honestly, I was. It's
Yeah.
even though it's a big convention that's hyped up a lot, it's
Mhm.
kind of small and
Yeah.
unimpressive.
Mhm.
Like there wasn't I don't remember there being live music. If there was, it was in another room that nobody was ever in. And
Do they have any seminars?
no. Well, I mean, they have
Oh.
seminars during the week before
Mhm.
the convention, so not during convention times. Like there was like a seminar on
Oh.
Wednesday and a seminar on Thursday, and then the convention was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was there Thursday night for setup and everything. I hung out and helped out Friday, and halfway through Saturday I just left to go back to Portland to open up the shop and work on Sunday.
Yeah, I would too.
I feel like Evergreen has in the past been something that was like a destination thing, but after I've gone to and me being new to the tattooing and all of that, after I went to Hell City, and after I've even just seen pictures of other conventions, I went to Evergreen being this shit's been hyped up. These are big names, but then the convention itself was
It is. Yeah, it's
boring.
chill.
Boring.
What?
It's boring.
Oh, the last time I did it, I think it's been like 10 years.
I
Oh,
heard that it was fucking popping 10 years ago.
well, it was cool. Like Dan Marshall and James Kern were doing seminars and it was cool. I was boothed right next to Dan Marshall, and he's a watercolor painter and tatter. And that was awesome. That was that was like a weird, oh my gosh, just all weekend get to see this cool shit. Okay. And it was very I don't know. I really got to meet the artists that I never get to meet usually on the West Coast. And so I got to meet James. And I mean, as far as the seminar or as the convention goes, though, I mean, yes, I was busy tattooing. So I can see on the other side. I mean, I don't know what I would have done with myself besides seminars and that. But it is quiet. It was a quiet convention. I remember that.
It's a pretty quiet convention, and there are some artists there that are really big names and really fucking amazing, and everything, and people there that I was really happy to see and happy to meet. But I also I don't know, I'm not trying to talk shit, I'm just thinking as somebody who was going there, both helping out at a booth and being a person there to enjoy the convention.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I was personally unenthused.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to
But
top Hell City.
it is really hard to top. But I think also what I was comparing it to was the last two conventions I went to hang out at and everything were Puerto Rico, which is in paradise, and Hell City. So I'm coming back from seeing those and then being where's the fire dancers in the tropical paradise? What do you mean it's 2 hours out of where I live? I'm bored. These are my neighbors. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
also like an environmental thing. I wasn't in a new environment. I was literally just a couple of hours outside of my apartment.
Oh yeah, that too. I know the OKC show is coming up next week, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. I'm like, but it's my home, so I'm literally gonna drive my scooter to and from, and just like leave early. We're gonna go see Weezer Saturday night. You know, it's gonna be like the weirdest convention ever because I'm like, no, I'm home. So like me and a couple of artists that my friends with are like meeting up and we're doing shit together. But like, I don't know. At the Villain Art shows, anybody wants to know, back in the day of old, they used to be fucking wild. Especially for doing the conventions I've been doing now. Like I've done some chill ass shows. Like I do the Literary Ink. That one's just literally filled with nerds. It's wonderful. Like,
I've never been to the Portland show. I don't know. I haven't really explored a whole lot of the local stuff.
well, that's a newer one. And I honestly don't go anywhere where I don't think I'll make some money. And I know like people that live in expensive ass cities can't afford tattoos. And every time I try to book in Portland, honestly, it's so weird. Like, I've just ended up like, you know, I used to be fully licensed in Oregon, and I just gave it up over COVID. I was like, I'm never going back. I don't care. I'll just go tattoo in Seattle. Fuck it.
Yep.
And I don't like Seattle. But
I feel like Portland's community is really oversaturated with tattooists.
Oh,
so there's literally a tattoo shop, at least like 2 tattoo shops on every fucking block. Anybody with $10,000 can pay to go to tattoo school and get a license, and 99% of those people decide that because they went to school and have a license, they're good enough to be a professional artist, but they realize they can't get a job at any other shop because they don't have any experience or knowledge of the actual industry, but they do have a license. So legally, they can just start their own private studio. So there's about 6,000 of those. And then there's just too many people doing tattoos. So, you know, it's just really oversaturated. Not all of it's great. Some of it is great. There's a lot of really good tattoo artists here too. But it's a shit show. And
well,
my competition is 6,000 other people that a client can choose from in the same city.
And that was it. I couldn't find a place for a while until I ended up meeting James, because I had clients already, like pre-started pieces, you know, like I didn't need anyone's clients. They were already mine. And I was told by someone that I didn't have enough followers on Instagram to tattoo there or in Portland. And I was like, I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like, I already have clients. They're just waiting. It would be cool to tattoo them here because I am licensed, just for like 2 or 3 days. And then I'm going to go home. But I'm in town right now for a friend. So can I? And they're like, they didn't care to look at portfolio. They didn't even care to hear me. They were just like, you don't have enough Instagram followers. And I was like, whoa, bro. Holy shit. Okay. I remember he was wearing space pants. And so I looked down at him and called him, okay, space pants. It was like the sickest burn I could think of, you know? I'm really bad at that.
Oh, that's a real thing though. My coworker had a client cancel on them because after they already booked, they looked at their Instagram and called back and said that they didn't want to continue with the appointment because the artist didn't have enough Instagram followers.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Why would you book in the first place?
Well, that's weird for a client to do, but I was very surprised that a shop owner would say that.
I've
Like,
I've met people, like I worked for someone who definitely prioritized Instagram following and relationships over skill level.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I worked for somebody who hired a person that would cross-contaminate left and right, show up drunk, tattoo horribly, blow out lines, show up drugged up, not show up at all, blah, 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 but kept this person hired on because they were married to somebody famous.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what the fuck is that?
And they weren't even licensed.
Ew.
But they got the
Ew.
job without an interview because they were married to somebody famous.
Gross.
Like, but that's kind of, that's, if you're a business owner and your objective is that,
Yeah, I mean, whatever,
I don't want to
man.
work at that shop anyways.
Yeah, I know. That's how I said it too. I just kind of was like, all right. Oh, I got sweet revenge too on that guy because I considered that guy kind of silly. But he saw me later with James. We were buying pastries, and I was like, "Oh, hey, James? It was." And I had told James what had happened, so he like totally helped me out with it. He's like, "Oh yes, yeah, I'll just be guest spotting with him." Okay. So it was really good. It was some good spicy like karma that he got for that because he should have been embarrassed about that. That's just like, bro, like, what in the fuck,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's weird that somebody would run a shop and then base the qualifications on something that A, doesn't matter and isn't relative, and B, was never even a concept when the industry was invented. Like, people were good tattooers and famous tattooers before there was Instagram.
Yes. And I understand if your shop is doing poorly and you are trying your best to feed your staff. Like, that's also a misconception. I want to be clear on if anyone listens to this in the archive. If you have to deny a guest artist because you can barely feed the people in your own home, totally understood. If you're that's a complete and utter understanding. So hopefully, if anyone's ever denied a guest spot because of that, like, just say it with grace and kindness. But if someone is vetting you based off of how many Instagram followers you have and you're a qualified artist with clients and not asking for advertisement, not asking to feed into their clients, not even asking to really hang out, just like give me a hole in the wall so I can get my clients done because I won't see them ever again because I don't live here and I'm just in town. Then that's kind of fucky. And I'll say it. That's fucky because every time I see that man now, I'm an asshole, And
But you still see them around?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes, every now and again, I'll see him at a convention or something. It's been a while since I have, but I mean, I'm an Aries and a younger sibling of like 3, so I know how to be fucky. And
so you know how to fight.
Well, no, not even that. I say fucky, like cheeky. And I do know how to fight, so that's not a problem. But no, I love just being a smart ass. Cheeky, as the Scots would say. Like he'll forever be reminded of me. And I don't even have to say that much to him. I just be like, oh, hey, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Because he knows. Yes, no, I know. But so yeah, it's like bad karma, because you never know who you're turning down either. Like you might have to paint next to that person. You might have to tattoo next to that person. That will be awkward.
So weird. Imagine being like, your internet presence isn't good enough for me.
Yeah.
And then later having to like be next to each other during an art fusion.
Uh-huh. And then my internet. Yeah. Yeah.
Just be like, hi.
Hi.
We met before.
Hi. Oh, Matthias, if you ever see me with a little smile, that's probably what's happening.
Oh, I
I won't
can't
be able
wait
to
to be
help
there
it.
one day.
I can't help it. Yeah, I cannot help it. If you see me have a little smile and there's nothing happening to deserve that little smile, that's probably, I've been in this for a while. Like there's been lots of people that have been fucky to me, but that's usually how I approach it. Cause you know, I'm from Florida. I know how to get down and trashy, but I tend to just like smile and say kind of, you know, like fun things at them.
I always
Yeah.
forget that you're from Florida.
I know. I play it off like I'm not really well.
Yeah.
That's why I probably like and can relate to that Shameless show so well. But yeah, if anyone that wants to know my upbringing, they just have to watch The Florida Project with William Dafoe. And it's a really good vibe piece. You know, you feel the vibe.
How is Florida Man?
That was one of my mentors. Oh, the movie. Oh, no, that just came out, didn't it? I didn't watch it yet. I didn't watch it. I'll have to. I'll have to.
I don't know what it's about. I just know that Florida is in the title. So I'm like, how accurate is it? Tell me, Renee.
I'll watch it and I'll let you know. I'll be crucial because I grew up in so like the St. Pete area included Tampa Bay and even some of Orlando and Clearwater. Like that's where we all hung out. So, you know, if you ever read those Florida Man reports, it's always like Pinellas County. That's where I grew up, or Hillsborough County, and that's where my dad was. So like all of those people are the Florida people that you hear on the news. And that's where Jerry Springer would also fish for people.
Oh, he passed away recently.
I know, I saw that.
I'm so bummed.
I know.
It's like, but my trash TV king.
We'll see him in Valhalla, probably.
The one thing I was looking forward to on sick day is when I got to stay home from school.
Mm-hmm.
Daytime trash television.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
God, yeah, what a such a good mediator.
I don't think he did much mediating. I think he was more of a, I've got a stick and I love to stir things.
I just remember him holding his little cue cards and just pointing and screaming at people and be like, that's true mediation.
Like I remember when they decided to start incorporating the stripper pole at the end of the show for audience members to show them what they got.
Oh my God. How did I forget about that? Oh my God.
And then the beads came in, and then I also like Too Hot for TV. I remember the video store across the street from one of the houses I lived in when I was a kid has a tape in the window of a melted VHS, and it was Jerry Springer's Too Hot for TV, and that was their warning for what happens to your cassettes if you leave them out in the sun and don't protect them. I didn't care about VHS's melting or about the sun damage. I wanted to know what was too hot for TV.
I took it as the VHS too hot for TV, that it melted the VHS because you know it's too hot for TV. But it was probably just the naked Florida women talking Florida talk.
I thought Jerry Springer was like Nebraska or something.
He was Michigan, Wisconsin. He was a senator.
Yeah, where was he a Senate man? Senator man.
I don't know, but he did live in Florida. One of my best friends sold him a newspaper when she was a barista, and he was a dick about it.
Oh,
Yeah, like he had $100 bill for a newspaper, and he was like, "Well, can I just have it?" And she was like, "No." And I think she called him like Mr. Senator Man. No. Um, um, I don't. Yeah, I want to say like he seems like a Wisconsin man. You know, he can take it.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he if it's too hot for TV, he can handle little barista insult.
Dude, Wisconsinans are tough people. They take me by. I like it. Like they take me by surprise.
Well, I mean, you got to be tough to survive the winters there. I've seen
Yeah.
pictures of them being like just a little snow, and it's like 4 feet.
Yes.
Like just a
I know.
little dusting. It's like okay, but I'm stuck.
Yeah, just the dust. I love the dusting. Just the
Yeah,
dust. Yeah.
it's just a
Well,
little dusting, but you're buried under like 8 feet of snow, and there's no access to your car, and you better have enough water at home because the pipes are frozen. Just a little dusting. It's no big deal.
I want that, Medusa. I want to retire in that.
Retire in a pile of snow.
Yeah, like, oh, bother, snowed in. Guess I'll just, go read a book. Or like,
Stay
oh,
home and paint, pet the cat.
that's the cat. I can't do anything else. Oh, bother. That sounds amazing. I really want that for myself. Like, oh, can't do anything about it. Oh well.
Literally any excuse to stay home and craft and hang out with my pets is gonna be great. Too much snow, perfect.
Perfect.
Power goes out. Well, I could just paint by candlelight.
Yep.
The world explodes. Everything is desolate except for my nice little apartment. I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I got canned everything. I got gas, so I'm good on that. No, I got a fireplace. Good on that. All right, we got cats. We're good to go. Let's do this.
I have none of those things, but I'm good.
Well, apocalyptic checklist, I believe, has cats on it.
In the apocalypse, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I am getting, my phone is blowing up. My friend wants me to come over to work on this ignition. So I'm going to head out.
Yeah. You be careful on that murder circle, m'lady. And
I will do my best.
I'm scooter season for me over here. Motorcycling in Oklahoma is just asking for it because Okies can't drive. It's true, Okies. I'm sorry, but I'm not. But scootering, that's a whole different story. The neighborhoods here have got these huge, nice bike lanes, and everyone just kind of goes really nice and slow. So this is a cruising city. I'll take you scooting in if you ever want to come down.
Hell yeah, I do want to come down. I will let you know about. So I'm going to send you some art too, by the way.
Send me
just to
something
have on stock for whenever there's an art show next, because I'm so bad at coming up with something.
Send me something by the 7th that is summer related.
Oh man,
that's everybody now. Everybody, send me something by the 7th. I can figure it out. We've got wall space now. I just made a bunch of extra walls because I'm an idiot. So, yep.
Gotta fill them up. All right. I love you. Have fun painting. This is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you for joining. Bye. Thank you everybody for coming on. That was Medusa. You can find her at Medusa Slays on Instagram. We also have Spiritual Tattooer and Anna War. Both very, very talented peeps that we have traveled and done all kinds of crazy things together. So it was real cool that they could join, and you can hear us rant a little bit. I can be pretty consistent and teachery mode, as I call it. But it's really good just to hear people talk about our day-to-days So thank you so much for watching. And I also, before I forget, I wanted to thank everyone that came up to me at Health City that is an avid viewer. It was really cool to meet you, and it was really cool to talk to you in person and just see your faces and know that people are listening and people do take notes and people are learning, because that's the whole point, you know, is a time to learn and a time to discover. And yeah, you don't have to come on and join, but even in just listening while you're drawing or listening while you're cooking or something fun like that, I know people will just pick up on just a little bit, because that's how I learn, you know, so it's the only way I know how to teach. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to probably put this painting down here in a little bit. Please stay tuned. I think Guy Atchison is coming on next, or has already started, because I think we went over a whole lot. But yeah, follow reinventingthetattoo.com and see what the schedule is, and give everyone else a little follow. There's a lot of really cool programming, and there's more coming day by day. And we're all learning and adapting as teachers. So if you have any questions, please put in the comments, and hopefully I can address them the next go around. And if you have any like real permanent questions for now, you can DM me at Renee Little Tattoos on Instagram. I've been trying to be a little bit better about checking my the other folder. So if I don't get back to you, don't take offense. I'll get there. So yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you next last Monday of the month.